nestled in the hills of the Holy Hill Shrine. As the fall season sets in, the drive through the Kettle Moraine is beautiful. Gift cards make perfect gifts because it's buy one, get one free for the dinners. Relax with a cocktail and a free prime rib dinner tonight. Tables are open. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Hi, this is John Neo, CPA, founder of Right Choice Tax Resolution and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. April 15th has come and gone. Now the love letters from the IRS and state start coming. Those certified green envelopes seem to strike fear in the person or business that gets them. You may also be lucky enough to get a personal visit from a revenue officer if you owe a lot of money. If you get a letter or visit, contact us immediately. We can help. We don't make judgments about why you got a letter or visit. We just want to help you resolve your situation so you can get on with your life. Don't let your bank account get wiped out, your paycheck or Social Security check get cut in half with garnishments, or a lien put on your house so you can't sell it or get refinanced. The state can even put a hold on your occupational license. Make the right choice and visit rightchoicetax.us today. Schedule a free meeting so we can talk and come up with a solution to solve your situation now. If you wait, it will not go away. The first meeting is free. That's rightchoicetax.us.
Breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
6 o'clock, I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News. Wednesday, September 11th, our top story. Both sides claim victory after the debate.
I'm Erik Bilstad. The search for a missing diver.
I'm Debbie Loziga. Everything's looking great out on the roads right now. Full freeway speeds, light volume, no incidents up on the board. I'm your Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic.
Could see a light shower early today before 7 o'clock. Otherwise, mostly sunny, hazy and warm with a high of 84 degrees. Mostly clear skies tonight, low down to 62. Right now it's 60 in Milwaukee. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Vice President Harris, former President Trump both claim victory following Tuesday night's presidential debate in Philadelphia.
It was quite unusual, but former President Donald Trump showed up in the spin room where supporters go before the media after a debate. Trump cited unnamed post-debate polls showing him the overwhelming winner.
This was my best debate. I thought it was very good. I thought she was very weak on foreign policy.
Vice President Harris didn't hit the spin room, but she and First Gentleman Doug Emhoff did appear on stage before supporters.
She showed everyone, especially Donald Trump, what a real leader is.
For her part, Harris was mindful of the crucial battleground state the debate was in.
We have got to win Pennsylvania.
Michael Toscano, CBS News.
Students and faculty gathered for a debate watch party at Marquette.
I thought it was very funny, and I thought that a lot of the corrections that the reporters made were all on Trump.
Sam Botvinnik is a student at Marquette studying international affairs. He tells WTMJ he's an undecided voter, but the debate did affect his opinion of the candidates.
I also wasn't very confident in Harris before because I had heard a lot of things and I hadn't really seen very many of her interviews. Based on this, I'd say my opinion of her has improved significantly.
Botvinnik says he's still undecided on whether or not he'll vote at all this November. At Marquette University, Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Search for a missing diver last seen exploring an underwater shipwreck yesterday morning will enter day 2.
The mission for rescuers on Lake Michigan is tough. The diver not only went missing 6 miles from the shore in Pleasant Prairie, they were also last seen about 100 feet underwater. We're only told the diver was in need of emergency assistance. Lake conditions were not good last night. They plan to resume their efforts with the U.S. Coast Guard today. Julia Fellow, WTMJ News.
This summer marked 4 years since unrest developed in Kenosha following the police shooting of Jacob Blake. A lot has changed since then in the city and in county leadership.
Obviously, I was new. Our county executive, she's only been there for, I think, 2 years. We have a brand new sheriff. We have a brand new police chief.
It's Mayor David Bogdola. He tells WTMJ he's always looking for ways to improve trust in the community.
Technology throughout the city with flock camera systems, and I think that is already proven to be a very valuable tool. And the most important part is investing in the relationships, what I think is the most important part.
Bogdola says his next area of focus is housing.
Francine, now a Category 1 hurricane, moving to the northeast to the Gulf of Mexico. The storm expected to gain strength before hitting the Louisiana coast. That should be sometime this evening.
Anticipating a potential 5 to 10-foot storm surge, business owners in Lafourche Parish are sandbagging and boarding up. Hurricane veterans have a well-practiced routine.
Raising everything up is most important.
Robert Berg lives in Grand Isle, Louisiana.
You kind of are used to having water come into it, and so moving anything important to the upstairs.
Not that he'll be around to see Francine arrive.
We're getting out of here.
He was towing his boat off of Grand Island, headed for higher ground. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
A collision on the tarmac of the world's busiest airport. The damage to 2 Delta planes, pretty extensive. ABC's Rananella.
2 Delta planes colliding.
It felt and sounded like a car crash.
The larger plane's wing breaking off the tail of that smaller jet. The larger plane was headed to Japan. Grant Edwards was among the hundreds of passengers.
It was a hard bomb.
The smaller regional jet was headed to Louisiana. Passengers describing a loud scraping sound, some thrown from their seats.
There was, kind of that crunch. There was that push that you get.
Passengers were bussed back to the terminal.
No injuries were reported. This happened in Atlanta. No one on either plane was hurt.
Coming up, maybe the chicken fingers are worth the hype. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:04.
This report's sponsored by Mr. Holland's Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit MrHollandsHeatingandAir.com.
If September had a flavor, it would be bittersweet. You still get the remnants of summer, that's sweet, but it's mixed with a bitter bite of back to school. Don't you wish you could keep some things running longer and stop other stuff from happening too soon? Here at Mr. Holland's Home Services, we feel the same way about your aging furnace. The fall chill is coming, and with the world's greatest tune-up in furnace rejuvenation, Mr. Holland's crew can stretch your senior system so that it's running smoothly well into its golden years. Of course, just like summer, all good things eventually must come to an end. So if your elderly, inefficient furnace is facing its final days, we can keep its memory alive with the installation of a brand new, high-efficiency comfort system. Mr. Holland's Home Services has you covered. But sorry, kids, you still got to go to school.
Aw, man.
866-992-1717 or visit MrHollandsHomeservices.com. Ready to take your comfort from bitter to sweet? We can help.
Planning for retirement is like planning a road trip. You wouldn't start a long journey without a map, right? The same goes for your financial future. Every retirement plan needs the right tools. Social Security is one of those critical tools. But did you know when and how you claim your benefits can dramatically affect your retirement income? At Drake & Associates, we'll help you navigate the twists and turns of Social Security. Our team can guide you on when to start collecting benefits to maximize your income. Don't leave your retirement journey to chance. Call us or text SS to 414-409-9982. That's SS to 414-409-9982. Let us help you map out a secure and enjoyable retirement.
Drake & Associates is an independent investment advisory firm that offers different investment vehicles. All insurance products are backed by the issuing insurance company. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only.
Siding Unlimited, named the best window installers, not just here, but in the whole USA. Get the best. Siding Unlimited, 3-time winner as America's best window installer. For windows, you call Siding Unlimited first and directly. SidingUnlimited.com.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:07.
A circus act in San Francisco. Wait to hear the highlight from Jackson Churio's amazing catch. That's coming up in sports at 6:15.
City of Milwaukee wants public feedback on replacing a Brady Street Park, formerly known as Swing Park, the small public space beneath the Holton Street Bridge at Water Street, closed in August of last year after antisocial behaviors, including gun violence. The city's conceptual plans would rename the space The Landing at Tannery Row. It would be upgraded playground, seating, bike racks, and outdoor performance space.
It's going to be a lot of time we spend talking about a space underneath a bridge. Right? Hasn't this park been... There was something there, and then we didn't want it there, and then we put something else there. You know, it's just this spot under the bridge. Saving food from landfills and feeding the hungry. That's the motto of Milwaukee's new food access equitable distribution. They call it Feed MKE.
The funds could also make it possible for more local producers and businesses to serve as vendors for bulk pickup or delivery of compost in order to redirect food waste away from landfills and enrich our soil for growing even more healthy and nutritious food for even more Milwaukeeans.
That's one of the coordinators, Andy Shaka, talking about the effort. To more than $127,000 in grant funding will be available to strengthen food waste recovery and composting.
The lines remain long to get chicken fingers in Brookfield at the latest Raising Cane's to open. Regional VP of the restaurant chain, Kevin Ryan, tells WTMJ's The Upswing more locations could be right around the corner.
We're looking to get Eau Claire open up in the next few months here. Janesville probably within the next 6 months, and then La Crosse will be towards next year.
The Brookfield location is the second to open in the greater Milwaukee area. And the fourth in the entire state of Wisconsin.
First was right there in Greendale.
Yep, that's right.
Yep.
You see that one quite often, right?
Lines there, and then literally across the street, the Chick-fil-A.
Also lines?
It's chicken. Like, it's tasty, I guess. I don't know. 6:09 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Wholesale mulch? No problem. We deliver to residential or wholesale accounts, and we can supply you with whatever volume of the highest quality mulch you need. Nobody around here has more mulch than Erickson's. We'll deliver you a 1-yard pickup truck load all the way up to 100 yards in a walking floor trailer. And if you just need a little bit, swing by and we'll fill up a 5-gallon bucket or two. It's the best mulch you'll find. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Our decorative stone is available by the handful for pickup, all the way up to 24-ton load deliveries. And our stone is superlative. We scour the countryside, countrywide, from Arizona to the Carolinas. We search pretty much the whole U.S. of A. to find you easily the best stone selection in southeastern Wisconsin. See a rainbow of decorative stone colors to match any exterior decor. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper-Fi.
Semperfiroofing.com. When you breathe well, you live better. Find out more at adventknows.com.
Checking in with Debbie here at 6:10 on the Morning Drive.
All right, looking pretty good around the area. Not seeing too many delays or incidents up on the board. Volume is just starting to wake up a little bit, but nothing major to slow you down, so you're in good shape right now. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. We have some clouds out there early this morning with a couple small rain showers passing mainly north of Milwaukee. We'll see plenty of sunshine for the rest of the day, some hazy skies with high temperatures in the mid-80s. Tonight, mostly clear, low temperatures falling into the lower 60s. On Thursday, we'll look for more sunshine, warm and hazy with high temperatures in the lower 80s. Some upper-level clouds will filter sunshine towards Friday with high temperatures in the upper 70s. Saturday's also looking dry, mostly cloudy skies with high temperatures in the upper 70s. Some small rain chances on Sunday with highs in the upper 70s. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore, the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Milwaukee temp at 64 degrees.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's Erik, Bilstad, and Vince Vitrano.
About 12 minutes after 6 o'clock, September 11th, 2024. We mark today 23 years since terrorists attacked the country. 2 planes taking down the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center, another damaging the Pentagon. And Flight 93, believed to have been bound for the U.S. Capitol, crashed in a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
Robert D. Siri Sr.
Juan Pablo Cisneros.
Big ceremony in New York at the National September 11th Memorial and Museum. Family and friends invited every year to read the names of the victims who died in the attack.
Swarna Chalasani and my uncle Robert G. McElvin. Although I wasn't lucky enough to have met you, your spirit lives on in myself, my brother and sisters, and all of those who loved you.
First moment of silence will be held at 7:46 a.m. our time, marking the moment the first plane hit the North Tower. Locally, a lot of events here in southeast Wisconsin as well. We've got Carroll University will honor an alumnus, Commander Dan Schanauer, U.S. Navyman who was killed in the Pentagon attack. Greater Milwaukee Fire and Police pipes and drums at 7:46 this morning outside City Hall. The bell will toll, and then a lone piper plays taps, followed by the Corps playing Amazing Grace. War Memorial Center on the lakefront this morning, 7:30 is when that ceremony starts. And then Wisconsin 9/11 Memorial and Education Center in Kewaskum. Their event is from 1 until 2 today. You spent some time up there.
Yeah, so, know the Habermans very well. Of course, Andrea Haberman from that area, she perished in the attack. And raising the beam, of course, that was the big deal. Way back when here on WTMJ raised money to help with that project.
So we'll dip into some of what we're hearing from New York and perhaps locally as well through the morning. as basically from 8:30 until about 7:30 until about 9:30 our time are those critical moments of how that all played out on that day 23 years ago. 6:13 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
$1 million. That's big, really big. This September, Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is handing out a cool $1 million, and you've got a shot at winning your share. The big $1 million giveaway is here. Just play with your rewards card and you're entered to win. Couldn't be easier and couldn't be bigger. No wonder it's called the Big One. For more details, visit paysbig.com/big one. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Vince Vitrano for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. A couple of different ways you can do replacement windows. We're getting a couple of new windows at the house in addition to the new exterior door, our front door to the home. And talking with the Pella design team in our home, they're like, well, we can go with the inside part of the window or we can do everything around it. So, your windowsill and the woodwork around that. And that's why you got to trust Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Not only the options, but they're expert installers that are going to make it look like it was always there from the start, except even better. Pella Windows and Doors, best in class, not only from the endless styles, but so many features, so many different choices that you have. And now for something you can't believe, as low as $18 a window, $81 per patio door per month. You can make your project more affordable by spreading those payments out month to month. And that's the deal now through September 30th is as low as $18 a window, $81 a patio door per month if you order the work in your home by the end of September. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
Ooh, what's that? Interesting.
That guy put his razor on sleep mode for a while.
A little Brewers buzz. The buzz returns. Just enough offense for the Crew as they beat the Giants 3-2 in San Francisco. The difference maker, a Garrett Mitchell solo tater in the 6th inning. William Contreras had 3 hits, chipped in an RBI, as did Willie Adames. Aaron Savale looking good on the mound. 5 1/3, 3 hits, 2 runs. Devin Williams will get the save. But it's this catch in the 8th from Jackson Chourio.
First pitch swing for Yastrzemski. Hits it into the left field corner. Over there in time to make the catch. And then diving into the stands is Jackson Chourio. Oh, Jackson. Great first step off the bat. It was a liner. He caught it, and then his momentum carried him up and over the wall in foul territory into the seats. He's okay. Everybody out there to help him get out. And Willie Adames ran all the way out there and said, "Don't do that next time." He's got a whole crew of Brewers escorting him back into the dugout.
Yeah, he kind of fell into the net, so he was laying in the net, had to be like trampolined out of there.
Right. When he said they went to get him out of there, they did. Like he needed help getting out of there.
Like the ball boy over there was like helping him out and all that. So they got him, thankfully.
Oh, Jackson.
Yes. All right. So with that win, the magic number now to clinch the Central goes down
9.
Yes, that's the magic number. Thank you, Pancake. The Cubs beat the Dodgers again, so the Brewers still 3 wins behind LA for that 2 seed in the playoffs. Same teams tonight. Code Red, Colin Ray on the mound, Blake Snell for the Giants. 8:10 coverage right here on WTMJ. First pitch at 8:45.
Packers this week operating with newly acquired quarterback Malik Willis as their number 1, absent a miracle that would somehow clear Jordan Love to play Sunday. So this guy's been in the league a couple of years, but he's been a Packer for a couple of weeks. Yep. Head coach Matt LaFleur says he'll be ready.
He's grinded, he's learned the terminology and is able to spit out the play calls, and we got confidence in him. And I think, if he's given a full week of preparation, a full week of practice, I got confidence that he'll go out there and perform at a high level.
It's a point well taken. I mean, it's not like he's going in the middle of a game, right? And they always say you have to prepare like you're the starter. But like if he's working with the number ones all week,
all of that helps.
Getting the reps, right? Typically Wednesday you would have open locker room around practice. So expect to hear from some of the players on how they're getting set and working with Willis. Packers and Colts, it's a noon kick Sunday at Lambeau Field.
Can you imagine if he's like, oh, it's bad. It was a bad day today.
or the other guys like talking to Jaden Reed, like, man, I didn't see anything even close to my direction. This kid's got to get straight.
They're not going to say that.
That's 6:18.
The Upswing is your place for commerce and community.
Some school supplies, according to monthly retail tracking data, are actually cheaper than last year. But a lot of other categories that are up 10, 11%.
Hosted by Jeff Sherman.
The average family is estimated to spend $874.68.
Weekdays from 10 to 11 on WTMJ. Presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs.
Tell him you want your yard looking as good as mine. Vince Vitrano here for Great Lakes Landscape. This is what we're doing right now. Talk to my man Ryan over at Great Lakes, and we've scheduled my fall aeration and overseed. So that's going to ensure a better, healthier lawn into the spring. Ryan's booking the fall cleanup as well. They come out, they trim the bushes and the shrubs, clean out all the flower beds. We did that with Great Lakes last season. It was so good. Things just popped once again in the spring, and then I didn't have to do that work. You know, I like mowing the lawn. A lot of the other stuff, that's not so much fun. Get on the schedule now. And if you're thinking even further out, snow flies in a few months, and you want Great Lakes Landscape in your driveway or your commercial parking lot, this is a local team who knows Wisconsin weather, and they're properly staffed so they can take on the biggest of jobs. Great Lakes does it all. Tell them you want your yard looking as good as mine. Great Lakes Landscape, that's Great Lakes Landscape, WI.com.
Why trust Grandview Homes to buy your home? It's simple. We make the home selling process fast, easy, and stress-free, even if your home is less than perfect. No real estate agents, no repairs, no cleanouts needed. Leave the mess and the stress to us. At Grandview Homes, we live and work in your neighborhoods. Our reputation is built on 15 years treating sellers with the dignity and respect they deserve. Visit GrandviewHomes.com for your fair cash offer today. Grandview Homes, the fastest and easiest way to sell your home.
At 6:20, let's get an update on the roads here, Deb.
All right, still a clear ride across the area. No incidents to report, and volume is pretty light, so we're not seeing really any kind of delays out on the roads just yet. While you're out navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you do see something we should know about, call WTMJ Hall Volkswagen traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Just a chance of a shower early this morning. Should be out of here by 7 o'clock if you see anything. And then mostly sunny today, hazy and warm with a high of 84 degrees. Mostly clear skies overnight, low down to 62. Thursday's high 83 degrees under mostly sunny skies. Mostly cloudy on Friday. Some high clouds will filter the sunshine and a high of 79 degrees. For the weekend, high temperatures of 78 degrees both Saturday and Sunday. Sunday, just a chance for a shower. Right now, 64 in Milwaukee.
Tonight, the high-stakes showdown here in Philadelphia between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. Their first face-to-face meeting in this presidential election, their first face-to-face meeting ever. So let's now welcome the candidates to the stage. Vice President Kamala Harris and President Donald Trump.
Kamala Harris. Let's have a good debate.
Nice to see you. Have fun.
Maybe the most awkward moment played out right away.
Right out of the gate. Have fun.
It was such an odd handshake. Maybe because there's no audience,
yeah,
right?
There's no one to wave to.
So typically when you have an audience, an auditorium full of people, right, they announce the candidates and there's cheering and they do their waving and they're, hi, how are you? Yeah,
right,
pretending they've seen someone in the crowd pointing.
Yeah, you made it.
Absent that, it's just quiet, and the two walk sort of toward each other, and you got the sense that they weren't sure, like, are we shaking hands?
Are we supposed to do that or not? Yeah.
She walked more toward his podium then, and then introduced herself with her name.
That's all right. That's fine.
Let's get into it. Some very substantive moments of the debate, some a little bit petty, and a couple of jabs and burns, if you will. Do you want to talk? Should we get the weirdness out of the way first?
Which one? The dog
Well, there
one?
is a which one. Do you want to get to the pets?
Yeah.
Okay, former President Trump on the pets.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
So let's explain this a little bit. He's talking about Springfield, Ohio, saying that it's a community overrun by illegal immigrants, and he didn't pull the pet diner line, just out of thin air. It came from somewhere. There was a social media post suggesting as much that went viral, but media all over have since debunked that, calling it at best a rumor, no verification. But that's where that came from, if you're wondering. Where did this come from?
Right.
Vice President Harris just sort of had a confused, almost sad look on her face. Like, sir? Sir.
And David Muir tried to bring that one back around. At least, hey, hold on a second. They tried to clean that one up a little bit.
Right, which some of the Trump supporters didn't care for. They felt like he was fact-checked more than she was.
Right.
Of course, if you're a Harris supporter, you're saying because he lied more than she did. Without regard to that, that's some of the conversation going on this morning. Let's get to substance on abortion. Kind of a tough issue for the former president because most Americans want some access to legal abortion. What that looks like kind of varies widely, of course, with people's personal ethics and what they want to see. But the former president clarifying this stance.
Now, I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother. I believe strongly in it. Ronald Reagan did also.
And you'll recall his Supreme Court picks brought down Roe v. Wade. So he has to own that. His contention is now states, and in some cases, some states have gone to referendum, so directly to the people. People now have a voice in what they want abortion law to be.
This is an issue that's torn our country apart for 52 years. Every legal scholar, every Democrat, every Republican, liberal, conservative, they all wanted this issue to be brought back to the states where the people could vote.
Now, Vice President Harris immediately arguing back in her response, that is not at all what people wanted.
Pregnant women who want to carry a pregnancy to term, suffering from a miscarriage, being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. She didn't want that. Her husband didn't want that. A 12 or 13-year-old survivor of incest being forced to carry a pregnancy to term. They don't want that.
She closed, pledging to sign a bill that would make abortion protection federal law if it were to reach her desk as president.
Other items that were addressed outside of immigration and the economy, how about overseas foreign affairs? What will Israel do next? How will U.S. support the Middle East? This from the president if Vice President Harris was in charge.
If she's president, I believe that Israel will not exist within 2 years from now. And I've been pretty good at predictions, and I hope I'm wrong about that one.
A little bit more from the former president.
The whole place is going to get blown up. Arabs, Jewish people, Israel will be gone.
Harris discussing Ukraine, saying, you know what would have happened had Trump still been in office with Russia?
Putin would be sitting in Kyiv with his eyes on the rest of Europe, starting with Poland. And why don't you tell the 800,000 Polish Americans right here in Pennsylvania how quickly you would give up for the sake of favor and what you think is a friendship with what is known to be a dictator who would eat you for lunch.
I will say this about the debate. Execution-wise, thought it was really good. I like not having a crowd there.
I agree with you on that. Like, let's never have an audience again.
Never. There's absolutely no reason.
Because they both got their stuff out. There wasn't the long pauses. There wasn't the moderators having to say, folks, we've asked you to hold your place.
The mic situation was nice. I mean, there's still a little bit of chirping back and forth, but when their mics were cut off, that actually did help.
So purely from a performance standpoint, politics aside or fact checks aside, in terms of what you saw on the podium, I thought they both had their strengths and their moments. I thought she exceeded expectation. And you had a lot of folks in liberal media, if you followed the circles closely, kind of trying to downplay early ahead of the thing, perhaps to lower expectations so she could come out and crush it. Right, exactly. Yep. But I thought she acquitted herself well. I thought the former president, he said himself, I thought it was my best debate.
His supporters in Fox didn't think so.
Former President Trump did take a lot of the bait that she threw out.
He went down a few cat and dog holes.
Make no mistake about it. Trump had a bad night. He rose to the bait repeatedly when she baited him.
This was rough. He had some moments where you were like, oh, my God, where are we going with this?
Yeah, supporters. Fox News not terribly happy with him today.
Got a ton more to get to on the debate. We'll do that again coming up in our next hour. News about your money this morning. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow Jones Industrial Average was down about 93 points to 40,737. The NASDAQ closed up 141 to 17,026. And the S&P 500 to 5496. That was up about 24 points. Get an honest opinion of where you are financially and where you're headed. Work with a fee-only fiduciary. Start at annexwealth.com.
Hi. This is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group. Do you wake up every day raring to go? Or do you dread waking up and worrying about if you're going to make payroll, how to pay your vendors, where to find customers, and how to collect the cash you are owed? Do you know how much cash you need to run your business? Are your books current and up to date to give you that information? If you answered no to any of these questions, we can help. We work with our clients to develop systems and procedures to improve their business and give them the information they need to know where their business is now and where it is going in the future. Where do you want to be in 1, 3, or 5 years? Out of debt? Retired? Not working 60 hours a week? Don't wait. Start on the path to less stress, more cash in your pocket, and no more sleepless nights. Visit neilgroup.net today to book a meeting. We can talk over Zoom, the phone, in our office, or your place of business. Yes, we make house calls. Don't wait any longer. Visit neilgroup.net. That's NEAL group.net.
Vince Vitrano for Absolute Comfort, HVAC and Electrical. And talking with the owner, Nicole. Nicole, when you go with the maintenance plan, like I did, you tell me when it's time for you to come out.
Yes, and you should have already heard from us.
Yes, I got the furnace email.
Great. Our maintenance plan provides you with year-round, worry-free protection. The plan includes AC and furnace maintenance, plus 15% off any parts or service you might need.
Absolute Comfort, HVAC and Electrical, 262-664-9284, yourcomfortguys.com.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right, enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit DiamondsDirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
6:30, I'm Vince Vitrano on Wisconsin's Morning News. Wednesday, September 11th, our top story. Reaction to the heated presidential debate.
I'm Erik Bilstad, 23 years later.
I'm Debbie Laziga. We're looking pretty good across the area. Westbound 894 just starting to tighten up a little bit through the construction zone. That's your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic.
On our way to a high of 84 degrees today under mostly sunny skies. Tonight, skies mostly clear with a low down to 62. Right now in Milwaukee, temperature 64.
This is a special report from ABC News. The presidential debate. I'm Sherry Preston. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump on stage together, sparring on several issues during their first presidential debate. ABC's Perry Russell was in Philadelphia.
Both candidates asked about the top issues for voters, according to ABC News polling: the economy and inflation.
We're doing tariffs on other countries.
My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to start up small businesses.
Abortion rights.
The government and Donald Trump certainly should not be telling a woman what to do with her body.
I did a great service in doing it. It took courage to do it.
Trump going after Harris.
They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat.
Harris attacking Trump.
Donald Trump was fired by 81 million people.
Afterwards, Harris got an endorsement from one of the most influential women in the world, Taylor Swift, who told her 280 million Instagram followers she thinks calm is better for the country than chaos. This is ABC News.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 6:31.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, first-year law student Clody Lassick viewed the debate at a watch party and conversation event at Marquette University, telling WTMJ she thinks Vice President Harris upheld the Democratic ticket.
I feel like she's upheld that vision and that promise to Americans that she is the torch handler. She is who Biden passed the torch to. So that's been really exciting and invigorating, especially as a young voter.
On the Republican side, State Senator Julian Bradley and State Representative Robin Vining were among the panelists, sharing a clear message of encouragement for those eligible to go out and vote.
Today marks 23 years since the United States suffered its worst terrorist attack on U.S. soil. The National September 11th Memorial and Museum will have its annual commemoration later today in New York. ABC's Phil Tate is there.
It's a somber ceremony as family members gather on the Memorial Plaza that takes us back to that devastating day and its impact all these years later. The FDNY Uniform Firefighters Union says 360 members of the department have died from 9/11 related illness, surpassing the total of the 343 members who were killed on the day of the attack itself.
Events are taking place here locally as well, including at the War Memorial in downtown Milwaukee later this morning.
Case against a Wisconsin teenager accused of killing a 10-year-old girl whom he lured into the woods will remain in adult court. Court documents right now only identify the teen as CPB. He is charged with first-degree intentional homicide, 2 counts of sexual assault as well, in connection with the death of Lily Peters in Chippewa Falls. That was back in April of 2022. CPB was 14 years old at the time of the alleged crime. State Appeals Court issued the ruling Tuesday. It could mean his identity will be revealed publicly.
Charges for a deadly crash in Germantown. Javante Spikes, who is 19 years old from West Bend, he faces 4 felonies, including homicide by negligent operation of a vehicle, stemming from a single vehicle crash that killed 19-year-old Samantha Ricord and injured another teenager. Authorities say Spikes lost control of the vehicle, hit a tree after running away or driving away from a police officer. He'll be back in court later this month.
Just a bit outside. Star-studded VIP premiere tonight, and then the documentary story of the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers will enter Marcus theaters later this week.
We all think we know the story of 82, but we don't know the story behind the story of 82.
Brookfield's Sean Hannes produced the film along with friend and fellow Wisconsinite Kelly Call.
The story seems to work whether you are really familiar with what happened or you don't know the players or the team at all. You couldn't write this stuff. You really couldn't.
From Paul Molitor and Robin Yount to Bud Selig and Bob Uecker, no stone was left unturned.
We had about 100 hours of archival along with 45 hours of interviews. They pulled stuff that I don't think people have seen before.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
It will be in 12 Marcus theaters Friday throughout southeast Wisconsin, along with Sheboygan, Green Bay, Appleton, Oshkosh, and Madison.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:34.
Traffic sponsored by the shower remodel experts at Kohler Services, WI.com.
Upgrade to a beautiful Kohler Luxstone shower in as little as a day or two with the shower remodel experts at Kohler Services. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com today.
Coming up,
the whole tail of that CRJ is off.
The whole tail is off.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Anti-Procrastination Officer Brian Wickert. Most homeowners and home shoppers have heard the Federal Reserve will cut rates by 0.25% in mid-September. Well, I have great news. When it comes to mortgage rates, it's like the cut has already happened. That's how markets work, and it means there's no reason to wait to either start or resume your home search because most 30-year fixed-rate loan scenarios will now have a rate and APR that starts with the number 6 instead of 7-point-something. The already lower mortgage rates also mean the refi window of opportunity is open for folks who bought their homes earlier this year or late last year with a rate in the mid to high 7s. If you can save $1,000 a year in payments and spend less than that in refi loan cost, do it. AccuNet can also typically offer a genuine no loan cost refi, which makes lowering your payment a genuine no-brainer. Don't wait. Click on the blue button today for a no-pressure refi checkup or to get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval. That's ACCUNET.com.
This week's Home Improvement Showcase is brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors, your exterior renovation experts.
I'm Kamala Harris. Here's a few things I believe. Middle-class families, like the one I grew up in, they want common sense solutions. You want lower prices and lower taxes. I believe you want to just not get by, but you want to get ahead. We must create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to get a car loan, buy a home, start a business. And I believe we can make that happen.
Kamala Harris's plan? Bring down costs by cracking down on corporate price gougers. Make homeownership more affordable for families. A middle-class tax cut for 100 million Americans. And make sure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share so you can keep more of the money you've earned.
Instead of being focused on the politics of the past, we need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:37.
Brewers with a much-needed win on the West Coast. They go again tonight against the Giants. Sports at 6:45.
Imagine if you worked at an airport. Here's what you never want to hear on the radio.
All right, we just hit something on the taxiway. Could you tell us what it was?
What? Excuse me?
Anybody see up there? What did we hit?
Oh, no.
The whole tail of that CRJ is off.
The whole tail is off. A Delta Airlines jet hit the tail of a smaller plane in Atlanta on Tuesday.
Delta 295, hold short of Victor. It does appear that you struck the RJ that's holding short of 8 right.
Okay, that's what we hit then. Yeah, we were on center line. Instructions were echo short of Victor. We're holding short of Victor, and understand. Thank you.
Yes, two planes hitting each other.
Two Delta planes colliding.
It felt and sounded like a car crash.
The larger plane's wing breaking off the tail of that smaller jet. The larger plane was headed to Japan. Grant Edwards was among the hundreds of passengers.
It was a hard bomb.
The smaller regional jet was headed to Louisiana. Passengers describing a loud scraping sound, some thrown from their seats.
There was, kind of that crunch. There was that push that you get.
Passengers were bussed back to the terminal.
So these planes on the tarmac, of course, they're huge vehicles slowly moving, and if they're not separated enough, you're going to clip each other, and that's exactly what happened.
You think the captains got out then and exchanged information?
Yeah, okay, so what's your...
Right, do you see? I mean, that's a lot of damage here. Your wing looks okay, though.
Yeah,
we should probably...
and we should really call police, get a report on
Let's
this
make
one.
sure we get...
Yeah.
They're out there with their little cards, taking pictures.
Calling their spouse. Oh, you're not going to believe what happened.
I'm going to be late tonight. We're okay. Everybody's okay.
Everyone's fine.
6:39.
By the way, everyone is fine.
Yes.
Everyone's okay.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, coming up, why you may not see Storm Team 4 Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky on the air for a while, and how it's a little bit my fault. That story next.
All right. We just hit something on the taxiway. Could you tell us what it was?
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Hey, you got one of those spots in your house that just never seems to stay clean? Not that you don't clean it, but that once you do, it gets dirty again. Vince Vitrano for Inspired Closets Milwaukee. Stand by for a new offer from my friends Katie and Dan. They don't want you to beat yourself up over it. This can happen if you don't have the right tools to get organized. So let's get Inspired Closets Milwaukee on the line and have them custom design actual solutions. No more just moving stuff around. You bring in drawers, cabinets, hangers, cubbies, whatever fits your needs, and the quality hardware that is not only functional but also beautiful. You can stop by and see it for yourself. Inspired Closets in Waukesha, and try everything out, and then you work with the team to build your project in their 3D software so you know exactly how it's going to look and how much it will cost before you start your project. On that, here's the deal. Tell them Vinny sent you, and you get 10% off the cost of your project or 18 months of free financing. Don't keep cleaning out the same space over and over again. Custom design a solution. Inspired Days start in Inspired Closets, inspiredclosetsmilwaukee.com.
Whoa, man, does my house look fantastic because CertaPro painters did the outside of it. Top tier, best craftsmanship, best choices. It's CertaPro with a C. It's that easy. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. CertaPro with a C. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned, operated right here. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy, choose CertaPro painters. We did. They do the outside, they do the inside, they always do it right. It's CertaPro with a C.
When I finished law school, my grandpa was long retired from working in the Rapids paper mill.
Dan Krause, Army veteran and owner of Krause Estate Planning in Brookfield.
Grandma and Grandpa asked me to help them get their wills set up. This was my first experience helping people with estate planning. I loved it. I loved helping my grandparents with this. Now, 25 years later, essentially that's all we do. We help people with wills, trusts, and asset protection.
Shore up your estate plan with Krause Estate Planning in Brookfield.
Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield is excited to welcome Dr. Nausheen Abbas to their team. Dr. Abbas is an ophthalmologist and cornea specialist. Learn more at holtebeck.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield. Visit holtebeck.com. Debbie.
Westbound 94, we've got some backups basically from 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. That's pretty typical stuff. Also tightening up on 894 westbound from 27th Street to 68th through that construction zone. Everything else is looking pretty good. No other incidents up on the board. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Warm temperatures continue today with highs in the mid-80s this afternoon. Look for some areas of clouds this morning and even an isolated rain shower or two, mainly north of Milwaukee. Plenty of sunshine, though, will continue for today with some hazy skies as that wildfire smoke moves in from the west. Tonight, mostly clear, low temperatures in the 60s. Thursday, more sunshine, warm and hazy with high temperatures in the lower 80s. On Friday, we'll see some upper-level clouds as Hurricane Francine and the leftovers of it move off to the north. We'll stay dry Friday with just some of those increasing clouds. Same for Saturday, mostly cloudy skies, high temperatures in the upper 70s. Small chance for rain on Sunday with highs in the upper 70s. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore, the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Milwaukee at 64 degrees. So remember that time we had Niznansky on the show, TMJ4 Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky, and we were recounting the story about how he called me because I had my appendix out late in life, like, I don't know, 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
Which usually happens to you when you're a kid, but
yeah. I was 11.
Right.
I had mine out too.
And it can be very serious, but the surgery is, fairly pedestrian and you recover and everything's fine. So Niz calls me one time and he's like, hey, when you had your appendix out, and I'm like, oh, dude, what's going on? And he's like, well, describe the pain and whatever, because he was going through something. And I told him at the time, I'm never going to tell you not to see the doctor, but that does not sound like what I was going through.
Because it can be excruciating.
I was doubled over to the point where my wife then just said, I am taking you to the hospital. It hurt a lot. And Niz was like feeling sort of some pain in, his abdominal region, but he's athletic. He does sports and stuff like that. So I'm like, I don't know, it might just be a pull or something like that. Because I'm like, if you had your appendix, so if that was a problem, you would know. You'd be really hurting. It was his appendix.
Oh, no.
That was weeks ago, dude.
Yeah.
He's in the hospital right now.
No.
What did you do?
So in fairness, that's also what he heard when he went to urgent care.
Okay, then.
He went there, and they're like, yeah, man, you'd be in a lot more pain otherwise. This sounds like a sports hernia or something else. And Niz said I could talk about it. I checked in with him yesterday. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, open book, man. Go ahead and say what you want. But so apparently what happened is, when your appendix is infected, it gets inflamed, but some sort of membrane seems to have formed around it, which is sort of a medical anomaly. But the doc thinks that was maybe perhaps suppressing the pain, and actually that it may have ruptured.
Whoa, because
that gets really serious.
That's the last thing you want.
Right. But fortunately, it's being contained by this membrane that formed around there. So now they got to hit it with antibiotics before they can even do the surgery. It could be days.
So they can't even take it out?
Not yet.
Dang.
That's what he told me.
Yikes. Okay, so he'll be in the hospital for days before they even have the surgery. Then you got to recoup for a couple of days after that.
Yes. And they got to make sure that they take care of and contain everything because that gets dangerous when it ruptures.
And you told him all was...
And I'm like, nah, dude, you're good.
When the next time you talk to him, will you ask him something for me?
Yes.
See if he can keep the appendix?
The little jar?
Yeah. We've had this conversation before about whether or not you're able to retain things that are removed from your body.
It's his. That's what you say.
That's what I always say. That's mine. I understand, well, it's biomedical waste, and right, but that's mine.
By the way, to be clear, Vince is not a doctor, nor does he play one on TV.
Yeah, so if there's a moral to the story, right, contact someone else for medical advice, and we wish Niznansky all the best. 646 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
No matter what your timeline is, you deserve a journey to paradise with Fox World Travel and Royal Caribbean. When you get the craving for sunshine, poolside fun, and ocean views for miles, there's no reason to hold back. Make the most out of your time with an all-in-one cruise vacation. Let a Fox World Travel cruise expert save you from the daunting task of choosing from ships, ports, and staterooms. And visit foxworldtravel.com to plan your next cruise vacation. That's foxworldtravel.com.
Now, here's some good medical advice for you. Vince Vitrano for Connect Chiropractic, where I'm in my second year of care with Dr. Alex Young and his team. And what we're doing now is working to maintain all the progress we made in that first year of care. So my neck, back, shoulder, all feeling better. And now I go every other week just to make sure things stay that way. I just took that round trip to New York, dropped my daughter off at school, 28 hours in the minivan. Could definitely feel that it was time for an adjustment. I play a couple of rounds of golf or pickleball or whatever, tennis over the weekend. Definitely feel like it's time for an adjustment. And this way then, with the regular visits built in, always on the calendar, I always know one is coming up. No twisting, no cracking, no popping, just sustainable, long-term, better health. It's Connect Chiropractic in Delafield and Wauwatosa. Find out more at Go Connect Chiro. That's goconnectchiro.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
Hey, what is this over here? Did you see this? What is this? Oh, that's what that is.
It's back.
It's a little Brewers buzz. How about that? Big win for the Crew as they beat the Giants 3-2. The difference maker, a Garrett Mitchell home run in the 6th.
Garrett Mitchell on the first pitch of the 6th inning, a drive to center. It is back and it is gone. Garrett Mitchell with his 5th home run of the season, and the Brewers on top 3-1.
That would be the difference. William Contreras had 3 hits, chipped in an RBI in the first, as did Willie Adames, and that made all the difference, scoring those 2 runs right away in the first inning. Thought you'd appreciate this. Pat Murphy was asked about if that being the game plan to score early.
Was the game plan to try to get on Roop early there tonight?
I mean, the game plan's that. When isn't that the game plan? Oh, let's let them have a few innings. So would that qualify as a dumb question? I think it would.
Adam, what do you think?
Adam, since you're the kind of the king of them.
McAlvey, the king. Now listen to this. Best part right here.
I guess more just
right
to
here.
start this. Feels good to smile.
Feels good to smile, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's a big win there, Coach. Thank you for that.
A little exhale. Okay,
Yes.
let's get right now.
Where's our magic number now to clinch the Central?
9.
All right, Greg, 9. We're single digits. The Cubs beat the Dodgers again. The Brewers still 3 wins behind L.A. for the 2nd seed in the playoffs. Same teams tonight right here in WTMJ.
And no other injury news to report from 1265 Lombardi Avenue in terms of the recovery of Jordan Love from his MCL injury. Remember earlier this week, head coach Matt LaFleur wouldn't rule him out for Sunday's game, but pretty much anyone you talk to when you're dealing with an MCL injury, there's the medical clearance, and then there's is he right and able to get around.
Right.
No new news to share on that. Packers expected to practice today in Green Bay.
An election year brings a lot of different stressors. Don't let your finances be one of them. Join WTMJ's John McCure, along with Annex Wealth Management, in another free webinar. Expert panel will break down complex campaign promises and turn them into practical insights for your investments. Register for this free webinar by texting WEB to 855-616-1620. It's another webinar from Annex Wealth Management and WTMJ.
WTMJ's Erik Bilstad here for Tri-County Contracting. Just got an email from a buddy of mine a couple of days ago saying, hey, what's the name of that company that you know that does the worry-free roof tune-up? I've heard you talk about it. I'm like, yes, it's Tri-County Contracting. They are the ones you want to call to get the worry-free roof tune-up. That way, your roof is good to go. You can extend the life of your roof and give you peace of mind. Oftentimes you think, wow, we got a budget for a brand new roof. No. You don't need to necessarily. Have Chuck and Tony and the crew up on your roof, and they can take care of the little things that need to happen now to extend the life. The worry-free roof tune-up, just $650 from Tri-County Contracting. Worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting, WDI.com.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Steve Scafidi for Universal Windows Direct. Football season is here. You know what that means. Fall is just around the corner with cooler temperatures on the way. Time to make sure your home is ready. If you've been dealing with drafty windows all summer, now is the perfect time to upgrade with Universal Windows Direct before the cold weather hits. Call 414-410-2000. Schedule your free in-home estimate today. For every 2 windows you buy, get the next 2 free. Plus, if you need it, 0% financing for 60 months for the last windows you will ever need. Go to UWD.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
From removing unwanted clutter or junk to full-service residential or commercial cleanouts, get a free same-day estimate at twomenandajuncktruck.com. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Checking in with Debbie here. Traffic sponsored by Two Men and a Junk Truck. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
All right. Well, we've got some delays out there. Westbound 94 is backing up a bit from about 25th Street all the way through to Mitchell Boulevard. Westbound on 894 slowing down out of the Mitchell interchange towards 68th Street. In Kenosha County, we had an earlier issue at Highway 165's off-ramp from southbound 94. We got a vehicle fire there. It's put out, but they had to close. Well, they originally had closed that off-ramp. Now it's just being worked on and cleaned up. So I think you can use that off-ramp now. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
WTMJ forecast sponsored by Dave Drake Camp Heating, where your comfort is their family's tradition. On our way to a high of 84 degrees today under mostly sunny skies. Mostly clear tonight, low down to 62. And then for Thursday, a high of 83 under mostly sunny skies. Right now, 64 in Milwaukee. And at 6:53 this morning, still some controversy swirling over the traffic stop initiated by Miami-Dade police. Their decision to pull Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill from his car after he was stopped for what they said was reckless driving and speeding. Hill was behind the wheel of a McLaren 720, which is a $350,000 sports car.
Hey, keep your window down. Keep your window down. I'm going to get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the car. Give me your ass, bro. Get out of the car.
Part of the interaction released in body camera from officers Sunday, blocked from the stadium, Hill refusing to keep his window rolled down as an officer was demanding. It quickly escalated.
Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. What part of that don't you understand? Hey, Drew, I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting arrested.
Hill at this point is face down. He's getting handcuffed. At least one officer put on administrative duty while Miami-Dade police conduct an investigation into how this was handled. Bringing in Dr. Ken Harris, former Milwaukee Police Lieutenant, host of the afternoon show on 101.7 The Truth. Dr. Ken, union says the cops did it right. Hill says they were out of line. What'd you see in the body cam?
I think both are guilty. Looking at the body camera footage, but the officer when he walked up really wasn't that professional. Like right from the start. No, hey, good morning. You know why I stopped you? I'm deputy whoever, so-and-so. I mean, nothing. Zero. Didn't even ask for his driver's license. Didn't ask for anything. So when you tell him to roll his window down, you didn't even give him time to comply. That's the problem. The fact that you gave me an order and then didn't give me time to comply, and then when I stood up, we deal with no people, yes people, maybe people, all the time.
Right.
So you're jaw-jacking, right? So what? Let him talk. Let him get it out of his system. Okay, now that you've calmed down, reason why we stopped, they didn't do any of that. So I don't know if de-escalation would have helped. He was kind of jacked up anyway because he was, upset because he's got to get to the game. And the officer didn't give him time to even respond to what he asked him to do. But then when he gets out the car, did you see what the officer did? First of all, there was no need to grab him out of the car like that. Hey, come on, step out of the car. Give him some time to comply. Mm-hmm. They didn't do any of that. And then as he's getting out the car, they grab him, and he goes to grab him by his hair. If you go back and look, he grabs him, and then he lets go. So he was in control. But then when you go and you write your reports and you say how you feared for this and you feared for that, how could you have feared for it when you were tapping on the window? Hey, open the window.
Erik was asking before about the window.
Yeah, right. So he put the window up or didn't bring it down.
Right.
Does that give the officer the ability to do something they normally wouldn't do?
Well, it can cause you some angst because,
or a tinted window?
Well, there's a safety factor where this person could actually secure a weapon or grab another weapon.
Right. You want to see what's going on in
but
there.
I don't know. Yeah, I need to see what's going on in the car. But I think they opened the door. So there were so many remedies.
If you pulled me over and I was going 100, like they say he was going, and you were busy talking to me, and I went, then I just put the window up.
First of all, I would have done the stop in a more tactical way because you were going 100 miles an hour, which is actually a crime.
Right.
So I'm going to approach you in a different way. I'm not going to approach you with I'm going to probably be as professional as possible because I know this can escalate rather quick. But if you're not opening the door, based on the video, you can't say it was an officer safety thing because you stood there knocking on the window. Hey. Kind of sounds like the same way with the Bucks player, right? If it was so much unsafe, why'd you talk to him for 15 minutes? Right?
How much of it is on the other cop? It seemed like there was one cop who was trying to get control a little bit and de-escalate.
He should have stepped in, and like probably their rules and procedures say he's supposed to do, step in and literally take over the call.
Is that easy to do?
Today, you better do it or you're going to end up like this.
Yeah.
That's a great point. That's a Erik coming over to me saying, "Hey, you need to you're too hot," or vice versa.
No, move you.
Right.
Time to go. You'll get mad. You'll get upset. Your ego will blow up. You'll have a job,
and you'll thank him later.
And you'll thank me later.
6:58 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Thanks, Dr. Kent.
This report sponsored by Pella of Wisconsin. Discover Pella now, pay later at PellaWI.com.
Jeff Levering here, asking the question, what does baseball have in common with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Manufacturing. Pella manufactures all their own products. Baseball teams have a similar homegrown strategy by developing its own players in the minors. Testing. Pella tests every product thousands upon thousands of times to ensure it stands the test of time. The ultimate test for baseball players to get called up to the big leagues, hoping to play well enough to stay. Pella is also the window and door equivalent of hitting for the cycle. Quality craftsmanship and innovative design are built into every Pella product for timeless beauty and performance. And now, Gina Della from Pella is here to call the big finale.
Thanks, Jeff. Pella windows and doors are best in class, not only from the endless styles, but for the features you can't see. And now for something you almost can't believe. Get as low as $18 per window and $81 per patio door per month. Hurry, the deal lasts only until September 30th, so visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply.
Hey, John Mercure here for Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning. We're cooking more at home now. We're working out at home. We're hydrating more at home. Guthrie and Fry make sure the water in my house is crisp, clean, and clear. I've got their water softener. I've got an RO system that filters my water. I know that quality products and services at a fair price from a local company is something I can trust. That's Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning. Comprehensive, reliable products, fixed rental rates, Guthrie and Fry.
Better water makes a big difference. Guthrie and Fry.
Moving Graves headquarters to downtown Milwaukee was the right decision for the future of our company. Hi, I'm John Kissinger, President and CEO of Grave, a full-service engineering, planning, and design firm. We wanted to be part of downtown's vibrancy. Our goal was to create a collaborative and innovative work environment that would attract the next generation of talent. I love working downtown, and so do my employees. Experience it for yourself. Go to MilwaukeeDowntown.com.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Swing and a miss. Went back to old reliable.
San Francisco Bay.
The Brewers are back at the Bay to take on the Giants. Our coverage begins tonight at 8:10. We are your home for the Milwaukee Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
7 o'clock, I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News. It's Wednesday, September 11th, our top story. Trading barbs in Philadelphia.
I'm Erik Bilstad. A global pop superstar weighs in on the campaign.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, westbound 894, backing up out of the Mitchell all the way to 68th Street through the construction zone. On westbound 94, still heavy from about 16th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound's just starting to get a bit heavy in pockets between 76th Street and 35th. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Mostly sunny today, hazy and warm with a high of 84 degrees. Mostly clear skies tonight, low down to 62. Right now, Milwaukee's at 64. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, after the awkward handshake to start, the gloves were off in Philadelphia. Vice President Kamala Harris, former President Donald Trump trading some blistering barbs and taking on tough topics in the first and could be the only presidential debate between the two.
On reproductive rights,
pregnant women who want to carry a pregnancy to term, suffering from a miscarriage, being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. She didn't want that.
Harris vowed to push to restore a federally guaranteed right to abortion. Trump would not commit to vetoing a national abortion ban.
Each individual state is voting. It's the vote of the people.
Saying he would not have to.
That's ABC's Lionel Moyes. The Harris campaign says the two major party presidential nominees should have a second debate in October. Former President Trump said in the spin room Tuesday after the debate that the campaign would consider that possibility.
There were watch parties all across the land, including at Marquette University Law School.
I thought it was very funny, and I thought that a lot of the corrections that the reporters made were all on Trump.
Sam Botvinnik is a student at Marquette studying international affairs. He tells WTMJ he's an undecided voter, but the debate did affect his opinion of the candidates.
I also wasn't very confident in Harris before because I had heard a lot of things and I hadn't really seen very many of her interviews. Based on this, I'd say my opinion of her has improved significantly.
Botvinnik says he's still undecided on whether or not he'll vote at all this November. At Marquette University, Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
High-profile celebrity endorsement for the Harris-Walz campaign. Taylor Swift, in a post on Instagram late Tuesday night, wrote that she watched the presidential debate and will be casting her vote for Vice President Harris and Governor Walz.
Here at home, the search for a missing diver, last seen exploring an underwater shipwreck, is now entering day 2.
The mission for rescuers on Lake Michigan is tough. The diver not only went missing 6 miles from the shore in Pleasant Prairie, they were also last seen about 100 feet underwater. We're only told the diver was in need of emergency assistance. Lake conditions were not good last night. They plan to resume their efforts with the U.S. Coast Guard today. Julia Fellow, WTMJ News.
The 6th named storm of the Atlantic hurricane season has set a course for the Louisiana shoreline. Hurricane Francine expected to make landfall before sunset.
This is Jim Ryan. Calm before the storm. Harvey Huval knows storms. His Henderson, Louisiana restaurant was battered by a tornado in May. Anticipating Francine.
At least a hurricane, you got a chance to prepare. A tornado, there's no time. It just happened.
And so he has prepared his newly reopened restaurant for the arrival of Hurricane Francine.
We're just waiting. That's all we're doing right now, just waiting.
Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Coming up, a $20,000 good deed at a school in Virginia. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:04.
This report is sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. SidingUnlimited.com.
Your home's defense is crucial. Defensive failure is offensive to you. Siding Unlimited is your home's best defensive coach. Windows, roofing, decks, and of course, siding. Siding Unlimited is it. Windows? Siding Unlimited handles several great brands. They are one of only 5 Pella Platinum Premium installers in the whole country. The only one around here. Doors and decks, roofing, siding. Yes, 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 and yes. Nobody can beat Siding Unlimited. When you deal with Siding Unlimited, you'll get honest pricing, guaranteed. What is that? Well, no gimmicks, none of that BOGO, buy one now, get blah, 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 chin boogie. This is what it will cost you, period. Honest pricing. Bolster your home's defense with the best defensive team ever. SidingUnlimited.com.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
Detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever. Overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control, we'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for President.
The Fox and Hound Supper Club in Hubertus is hiring servers, bussers, food runners, expo and barbacks, and cleaners. Make real money. It's perfect for high school and college students, parents and grandparents. Tell your kids and start next week. FoxandHoundsRestaurant.com.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:06.
What a catch by the Brewers' Jackson Churio. We'll play the highlight at 7:15.
Happening now in the nation's capital. The American flag's been draped across the Pentagon ahead of this morning's ceremony, which marks 23 years since the September 11th attacks. Several commemoration events are being held right here in Wisconsin as well, including at Milwaukee's War Memorial Center.
Today's event will include remarks by Milwaukee County leaders, first responders, and veterans groups honoring and remembering the fallen. At the 9/11 Wisconsin Memorial and Education Center in Kewaskum, events today will include a speech by Ronaldo Vega and Michael Kenny, both of whom responded in the aftermath of the September 11th attacks. Other events across Wisconsin will be held in Madison, Oconomowoc, and Stratford. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Just a bit outside. Documentary on the 1982 Brewers debuts. Well, there's a star-studded VIP premiere tonight, and then it will be in Marcus Theaters later this week. The producers of the film, Kelly Call and Sean Hanisch, started the project 4 years ago, amassing nearly 50 interviews and 100 hours of video.
The Brewers were very helpful with photographs. We also had a couple archivists who were magicians, finding old news footage.
Among those interviewed, Bob Uecker.
He'd celebrate with them. He'd go out with them. I mean, we have, a really great story in the movie about an epic night out in Boston that he led the parade, literally, down the street.
A team that was celebrated with a massive parade down Wisconsin Avenue days after losing Game 7 of the World Series.
I think that's what endears the players to, this community to this day.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
You'll find the film Friday in 12 Marcus Theaters throughout southeast Wisconsin, also up in Sheboygan, Green Bay, Appleton, Oshkosh, and Madison.
Many high school students don't give a second thought to their school's custodians, but that isn't the case in Virginia.
One day a year ago, a group of freshmen at James Madison High School in Vienna, Virginia, asked their favorite custodian, Francis, what he wanted for his birthday. He quickly answered, a Jeep Wrangler. It wasn't an idle question on the student's part. They really wanted to get him something, although a car was probably more than they'd bargained for. But 6 months later, they got together and began their campaign to raise money. They quickly got to $5,000, and by last weekend, they had $20,000. That was enough to get Francis a cherry red Jeep Wrangler.
Today is a wonderful day in my life, and I will never forget it.
Francis said it shows the students respect people no matter what they do for work.
Whether old, whether young, whoever, you have to give the due respect.
Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
Man, that's extraordinary.
That's
nice
awesome.
job, kids.
Yeah.
Way to go. Coming up next, bags fly free. For now, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:09.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. John Stevenson, D.C. What is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is actually nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
Numbness, tingling, burning, muscle cramps, coldness in hands or feet, and problems with balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It is absolutely treatable. We can get great results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands, or balance issues, call Strive Integrative Health at 262-307-2133 today for a nerve damage screening. This screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for their cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Simply call Strive Integrative Health at 262-307-2133. Act now, 262-307-2133.
Traffic is sponsored by SB Framing Gallery, Milwaukee's distinctive archival framing.
SB Framing Gallery in the 3rd Ward can enhance and protect your artwork for generations. Framing pieces with archival and distinctive design. Learn more at sbframinggallery.com.
Checking in with Debbie here at 7:10.
All right. Well, we're still seeing some delays westbound on 94, leaving the 25th Street area all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound is a bit backed up from 84th Street to 35th. Westbound 894, 27th to 68th Streets, where you're going to see those delays. Otherwise, 41 and 43, both looking just fine for the morning. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Low chance for a brief isolated rain shower this morning, mainly north of Milwaukee. Just some cloudier skies to start off the day, becoming sunny as we head towards this afternoon. Warm and hazy with high temperatures in the mid-80s. Tonight, mostly clear skies, low temperatures falling into the lower 60s. On Thursday, more sunshine, warm and hazy, high temperatures in the lower 80s. We'll look at some upper-level clouds moving in on Friday. That will filter some sunshine with highs in the upper 70s. Saturday, mostly cloudy skies, highs in the upper 70s, and some small rain chances on Sunday with high temperatures in the upper 70s. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore, the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Milwaukee at 63.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's Erik Bilstad and Vince Vitrano.
At 7:12 on this Wednesday morning, likely already heard, we've talked about it on the show, Southwest Airlines is ending its Forrest Gump-style seating procedure for boarding.
Can't sit here.
Southwest expected to transition to assigned seats and offering premium seating options next year.
You could not be happier.
I never liked that whole line up here. Here's your number. Are you B7? Are you 38? Are you 39? Wait, what about you over here? And then you walk down the aisle.
And you don't trust that guy in front of you. Like, right? Are you really 33?
And then there's a bag on the middle seat. Is someone sitting there? Then you have to add, just tell me, if you put me in the middle seat, fine, put me in the middle seat. Then I don't have to ask someone, is it okay? Right. Why did he pick me to sit by? So anyway, they're doing away with that. That's going to happen sometime next year. But more big changes could be coming to Milwaukee's largest carrier. ABC's Jim Ryan, who's based in Dallas, where Southwest is headquartered, branded it a coup. Shareholders for Southwest forced a major shakeup among company leaders. It was just announced Tuesday. Executive Chairman and former CEO Gary Kelly is out. 6 board members will give up their seats. Robert Jordan, who's the CEO now, is safe for now. Southwest saying he will stay on. So, okay, who cares, right? Bunch of Wall Street stuff that people care about. Well, these changes seem to forecast the demand for changing more things at Southwest that will affect how we fly.
Southwest used to be like a major profit driver, and they haven't been that company for years now.
Since 2021, Southwest stock has lost more than half its value.
Can an airline that is one of the biggest airlines in the world still operate like it operated in, 1984.
So that's some reporting for the ABC station in Dallas. Janelle Fort is the reporter there, WFAA-TV. She's interviewing a number of folks who say that the airline is not returning on the investment to shareholders. And say what you want about service and all these other things, like they're a publicly traded company and they have to return on investment. And shareholders are getting uneasy about that. They're demanding change. And what's been announced so far could only be the beginning.
They want Southwest to make many more bold changes. They think some money is left on the table.
Assigned seating and retrofitting of aircraft to offer business class-like extra legroom options are already on the horizon. So are red-eye flights. But as they look for more ways to profit, experts say other changes could be cleared for takeoff.
There are 2 bags fly free policy, which a lot of people find really liberating. We'll see if they change that.
Whoa.
Really?
That would be a huge change for Southwest. Especially for me, like that policy in part is what's driven me as a consumer to accept some of the other quirks that I maybe don't like. I think they have great people. The seating thing always bothered me and whatever. But man, if you're talking about a family of 5 traveling, for example, 10 bags that fly free, that's a big cost difference.
Yeah.
Right. So if they change that, what does that do to the character of the airline? What does that do for folks as consumers? So the future of the airline, very relevant to us here in Milwaukee because right now Southwest makes up nearly 40% of all the commercial flights into and out of Mitchell here in Milwaukee. We'll keep an eye on that. 7:15 Sports is up next. It's sponsored by Holiday Automotive at Highway 23 in Fond du Lac. Holiday Automotive, it's worth the trip.
WTMJ's Greg Matzik here for Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac, the destination for Wisconsin's best 2024 closeout sale. It's where to score deep closeout savings on favorites from Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. Get more for your trade and discover car buying that makes fans of drivers from all over the Badger State. Fans like me. Fun, simple, and pressure-free car shopping is the way it works at Holiday. Their transparent, simplified pricing and buying approach lets you relax and focus on finding the one that's right for you, then pairing it up with enticing, money-saving incentives and offers to lower your bottom line. I've driven with Holiday a long time. The team culture, passion for excellence, and friendly, upbeat atmosphere is real. It wins fans and has earned them top-ranked status as Wisconsin's #1 Buick and GMC dealer per 2023 Buick and GMC Zone sales records. Find yours, discover the difference, and drive it home today from Holiday, Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC in Fond du Lac and online at holidaygm.com. It's worth the trip.
What you're going to get from Semper Fi is a reputation backed by an undeniable stack of proof that we are who we say we are. And ultimately, that means leaving you satisfied.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
Oh, well, looky here. Little Brewers Buzz. Such a nice sound, the Brewers Buzz.
Razor guy's back.
No, it's Brewers Buzz.
I forgot. Okay.
This is the crew cut. Ooh.
I like that.
Anyway,
what just
Brewers
happened?
won. Just enough offense for the Crew as they beat the Giants 3-2. The difference maker really a Garrett Mitchell home run in the 6th inning. Willie Contreras had himself 3 hits. He also chipped in an RBI in the 1st inning, as did Willie Adames. Aaron Savale looking good, 5 1/3, 3 hits, 2 runs. Devin Williams would get the save. But all the talk and all the highlights that are being played on the televisions are this Jackson Chourio diving catch in the 8th.
First pitch swing for Yastrzemski. Hits it into the left field corner. Over there in time to make the catch. And then diving into the stands is Jackson Chourio. Oh, Jackson. Great first step off the bat. It was a liner. He caught it, and then his momentum carried him up and over the wall in foul territory into the seats.
So he's laying on the net there.
Everybody out there to help him get out.
Fans, players
and Willie
helping him.
Adames ran all the way out there and said, "Don't do that next time." He's got a whole crew of Brewers escorting him back into the dugout.
Pretty neat to hear that. All the team basically bringing him in there, and he was smiling about it, laughing as he was.
He did need help to get out.
Right? Laying on the net. Even the ball boy out there was like, "Hey, buddy, need a hand with that." Okay, so with the win, the Cubs also won. They beat the Dodgers. Where does that put our magic number to clinch the NL Central?
9.
Ooh, thank you, Pancake. 9. The Dodgers lost, but the Brewers still 3 wins behind LA for that 2 seed in the playoffs.
Packers and Colts. It's a noon kick Sunday at Lambeau Field. I kind of like Matt LaFleur, the philosopher. You know, Packers head coach has pretty even temperament, or at least he says the right stuff at his news conferences and whatever. But I'm a worrier. You know that, about me.
Yep.
I'm like the worst type of warrior.
Yep.
I sweat the small stuff to the point of exhaustion.
Anyway, go on.
My wife calls it awfulizing. Something happens, you're like, well, that's it. We're done. I reach in my pocket, can't feel my keys. My keys are lost up. I can't drive home. Like, oh, wait, nope, they're right here. Everything's fine.
Dinner is canceled.
So everything's always worst case scenario with me, and I got to fix that. LaFleur was asked what that 11-hour flight back from Brazil was like, wondering how severe the injury was to his franchise quarterback.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. There's no sense in trying to, worry about something that's out of your control, and certainly I felt a little confident that he was, since he was moving, and he said obviously he was in pain, but until I wasn't going to even go there in my mind until I knew one way or the other, and thankfully we got some relatively good news.
Yeah, he's like, what point is there to sit there and let my mind spin for 11 hours? I mean, surely it crossed his mind.
Had to have.
Right, but he wasn't sitting there fretting over it. Like, I don't know, we'll wait. It is what it is. We'll wait and see what it is.
Yeah.
So the relatively good news that he referred to, MCL injury, no update from the Packers at this point on a timeline for Love's return. Most experts suggest it's a few weeks as opposed to a few months for sure. For now, operating with the newly acquired quarterback Malik Willis as your starter for Sunday. 7:20 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Hey, WTMJ's Erik Bilstad here, reminding you to subscribe to the Wisconsin's Morning News podcast. We update it every day with every interview, every segment, every bit we do on the show.
Wait, we don't do bits on the show.
We're thrilled to have the one and only Will Pounder.
I don't know what that means.
Labeled or known as being a big baguette.
Maybe we do some bits.
Be sure you subscribe to the Wisconsin's Morning News podcast, presented by Tri-County Contracting.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
High school sports back underway. If your athlete comes home from practice or a game kind of banged up, remember, you can walk right in at an Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin site. Vince Vitrano for my medical team at Ortho Wisconsin. You know, sometimes an injury isn't immediately apparent when it happens, right? But your daughter comes home and the knee is still bothering her. Son comes home, the ankle's swelling up. No need to make an appointment. The Ortho ASAP clinics have hours Monday through Saturday in Pewaukee and Monday through Friday in Brookfield. You walk right in. Sprains, strains, dislocations, fractures. X-rays are available right there on site. Faster, easier, likely less expensive than a trip to the ER or urgent care. And now you're in the good hands of the folks at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic, or you can book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. They specialize in caring for those with early to late stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms, memory care issues. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. I've been in their places. I love how they deal with people. It's about compassion and empathy at Azura. Kindness is at their core. 14 locations from the Mississippi to Lake Michigan, 4 here in the Milwaukee area. Wisconsin-based and family-owned. It's about kindness and care. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at accunet.com.
Save up to 50% on better quality furniture and mattresses during the Labor Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture.
Checking in here at 7:23 on the morning drive, Deb.
All right, starting to slow down just a little bit on 43 southbound between Hampton and Capitol Drive. Northbound 4394 slowing down out of the Plainfield curve all the way up towards the Oklahoma Avenue area. Looks like we do have a crash right about at the Plainfield curve on northbound 4394. Looks like it's off on the right shoulder. Westbound 94 heavy from about 25th Street all the way through to about Mitchell Boulevard. An accident on eastbound 94 right at 68th Street off on the left shoulder as well. So that's going to be causing some backups all the way from the Zoo interchange to about 35th Street. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Mostly sunny, hazy, and warm today with a high of 84 degrees. Mostly clear skies tonight, low down to 62. For your Thursday, high of 83. Friday's high 79. For the weekend, 78 degrees, your high temperature both Saturday and Sunday. Just Sunday, including a chance of a shower. Right now, 63 in Milwaukee.
Tonight, the high-stakes showdown here in Philadelphia between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. Their first face-to-face meeting in this presidential election, their first face-to-face meeting ever. So let's now welcome the candidates to the stage. Vice President Kamala Harris and President Donald Trump.
Kamala Harris, let's have a good debate.
See, have fun.
Have fun, he said. What a weird handshake to get things started.
So awkward, but that's all right.
That's fine.
I think we both agree. It was a pretty good debate, well executed.
You could hear, I love the mics off in between, so they're not interrupting each other for the most part. There were a few moments where they were trying to do that.
But interesting. It was easy to follow. It was easy to glean some information, right, when you say?
Had a couple of funny moments. Should we do that first? Should we laugh first a little bit? Okay, so the my rally is bigger than your rally debate.
Here we go.
Vice President Harris suggesting that former President Trump's rallies are getting old said, I invite you to go to one of his rallies.
You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you.
So this is how Trump punched back on that.
She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there, and then showing them in a different light. So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. That's because people want to take their country back.
So what she was able to do multiple times, and even Trump supporters in the spin room admitted this, she was able to bait him, and that was one of the times she got him off message, so he took his time in his answer to whatever they were talking about.
Telling you that he's got the greatest rallies ever.
Yeah,
as
instead
opposed
of
to
addressing whatever policy or whatever they were actually discussing. And she did that multiple times to them. They did talk economy. The former president asked about possible tariffs on all foreign imports across the board.
They're not going to have higher prices. What's going to have and who's going to have higher prices is China and all of the countries that have been ripping us off for years.
Harris pushed her economic plan.
I love our small businesses. My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to startup small businesses, knowing they are part of the backbone of America's economy.
Among the many items they talked about, also brought up immigration. That was discussed at length.
International affairs, talked about Ukraine, talked about Israel.
Abortion was discussed.
So I agree with you. Substantive debate, and I thought the moderators did a pretty good job, right? Trying to keep everybody on track?
There were, and you saw this coming. They did try to do some fact checking. And when that happens, that's a slippery slope. And of course, there's some criticism now that
they only fact checked Trump and they didn't fact check her.
That's a slippery slope when you try to fact check. But
by no means was that comprehensive review. We're going to hit it again just after 8 o'clock. A lot more sound bites that we want to play for you from that debate and further analysis as well. That is ahead still this morning at about 8:10 here on Wisconsin's Morning News. News about your money, WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update, Dow Jones Industrial Average. Closed the day at 40,737. That was down about 93 points. The NASDAQ was up more than 140 to 17,026. S&P 500 at 5496. That was up about 24 points. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Had family and friends over this summer? Realized you are not proud of your outdoor space? Vince Vitrano here. Call my partners at Great Lakes Landscape. Having a big party? Get them out to the house with some new colorful plants, perennials, spruce things up. Or maybe we're going big and bold with a retaining wall, paver patio, fire pit, anything in between. With Great Lakes Landscape, you get an experienced consultant to draw up your dream plan and an expert crew of professionals to install it. Act now so you do not have to wait in line in spring. Great Lakes Landscape. That's Great Lakes Landscape, WI.com.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats. Now through Wednesday, save on 128-ounce selected varieties Blue Ribbon Pails, $4.99 with coupon. 3 to 6 count selected varieties M&M's, Snickers, Dove, or Twix Novelties, $3.99. 4 count selected varieties Dannon Multi-Pack Yogurt, 2 for $8. 64-ounce selected varieties Old Orchard Juice, 2 for $5.
I am starving.
Oh, no. Never walk into a Century when you're hungry.
Unless it's free sample day. Ooh, oh, pizza, yes. I'd love to try that one.
My husband thinks he can make a meal out of grocery store samples.
Need to wash this down. I think I see someone handing out samples in the liquor department.
Geez, can we focus on our list?
What's this?
It says you can win 2 tickets to Green Bay's home game against San Francisco November 24th.
Or autographed footballs, or a 4-pack of Green Bay Hall of Fame tickets.
You have to enter through Century's Facebook or Instagram.
I'll be entering this on my phone in the deli next to that cheese sample station.
I'm shopping at Century alone next time.
Enter by November 6th.
At Blaine's Farm & Fleet, you can always find the best brands at the best prices. But for a limited time only, we're offering our lowest prices of the year throughout the store. Like 50-pound bags of Diamond Crystal Bright and Soft Softener Pellets, just $5.99. More than half off Yellow Jacket 50-foot extension cords, only $29.99. And buy early and get $150 instant savings on a 28-inch Cub Cadet dual-stage snow thrower. Don't miss your chance to get our lowest prices of the year, only at Blaine's Farm & Fleet.
Traffic is sponsored by the Heiser Automotive Group. For convenient car shopping and financing, visit Heiser Automotive Group at one of their 4 locations, Toyota, Chevy, Ford, Lincoln, and Cadillac. Or visit Heiser.com because today's your day.
7:30, this is Wisconsin's Morning News, September 11th. Our top story, a heated debate in Philly.
I'm Erik Bilstad, honoring the fallen 23 years later.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. We do have a couple of accidents to deal with. One, northbound 4394 going through the Plainfield curve off on the right shoulder. We got a crash there. And then another one on eastbound 94 right about at 68th Street. That one is off on the left shoulder. Backups out of the Zoo interchange all the way to that point. On westbound 94, we've got delays out of the Marquette to 35th Street. And southbound 41 starting to slow down from Silver Spring down past Hampton. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
High of 84 degrees today under mostly sunny skies. Will be a bit hazy. Just a chance for a shower early this morning. Otherwise, mostly clear skies tonight. Low down to 62. Right now, Milwaukee at 63.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the gloves were off right after the handshake. Tuesday night's presidential debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump got heated at times. ABC's Lana Moise.
Harris was asked to address her shifts on policies.
I made that very clear in 2020. I will not ban fracking.
What her critics have called flip-flopping.
My position is that we have got to invest in diverse sources of energy.
One contentious moment, Trump claimed Harris supports defunding the police. Harris could be seen saying not true.
Wait a minute, I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please.
Despite her mic being muted.
Does that sound familiar?
Trump calling Harris the worst vice president in U.S. history.
Watch party?
Locally, first-year law student Chloe Lassick was viewing the debate with others at a watch party and conversation event at Marquette University. She tells WTMJ she thinks Vice President Harris upheld the Democratic ticket.
I feel like she's upheld that vision and that promise to Americans that she is the torch handler. She is who Biden passed the torch to. So that's been really exciting and invigorating, especially as a young voter.
Local lawmakers on hand, State Senator Julian Bradley, State Representative Robin Vining among the panelists, sharing a clear message of encouragement for all those eligible to go out and vote.
It's been 23 years since the 9/11 attacks. Today marks that somber anniversary. Ceremonies are being held in New York, across the country, and right now in Milwaukee.
With the sunrise over Lake Michigan serving as the backdrop, dozens have gathered at Milwaukee's War Memorial Center for the annual September 11th Remembrance event. Dozens of local leaders will speak today at the event, which is one of several occurring across Wisconsin, honoring those lost on September 11th, 2001. Other remembrance events are happening today in Kewaskum, as well as in Oconomowoc and Stratford. At the War Memorial Center in Milwaukee, Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Case against a Wisconsin teenager accused of killing a 10-year-old girl whom he lured into the woods will remain in adult court. Court documents right now only identify the teen as CPB, his initials, charged with first-degree intentional homicide, 2 counts of sexual assault in connection with the death of Lily Peters of Chippewa Falls back in 2022. The accused was 14 years old at the time of the alleged crime. State Appeals Court issued that ruling on Tuesday that could mean his identity would be revealed publicly.
Charges following a deadly crash in Germantown. 19-year-old Javante Spikes of West Bend now faces 4 felonies. This after a single-vehicle crash that killed 19-year-old Samantha Ricor and also injured a 17-year-old. Police say Spikes lost control of the vehicle while fleeing from police. He hit a tree. He'll be back in court later this month.
Just a Bit Outside. It's the name of a documentary and story of the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers. There's a VIP premiere tonight, and then it will appear in Marcus Theaters later this week.
We all think we know the story of 82, but we don't know the story behind the story of 82.
Brookfield's Sean Hannes produced the film along with friend and fellow Wisconsinite Kelly Call.
The story seems to work whether you are really familiar with what happened or you don't know the players or the team at all. You couldn't write this stuff. You really couldn't.
From Paul Molitor and Robin Yount to Bud Selig and Bob Uecker, no stone was left unturned.
We had about 100 hours of archival along with 45 hours of interviews. They pulled stuff that I don't think people have seen before.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
Film will be in Marcus Theaters throughout southeast Wisconsin, as well as Sheboygan, Green Bay, Appleton, Oshkosh, and Madison.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 7:35. Coming up, Say It Ain't So, Grohl.
This report is sponsored by Uline. Visit uline.com today.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Since 1955, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Hey, don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geis today. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget. They'll even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geisdoors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
Detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever. Overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control, we'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for President.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:37.
Levo said he'd be up. Once again, Brewers on the West Coast. Brewers play-by-play man Jeff Levering said, yeah, you can call me at 5:45 Pacific time.
All right.
So we'll see. Brewers 360 at 7:45 our time.
Another confession to make.
Yeah. Saw that one coming. The song, I mean. Foo Fighters founder and lead singer Dave Grohl says he cheated on his wife and fathered a daughter out of wedlock. Bombshell post on Instagram. Grohl writing that he's recently become the father of a new baby daughter born outside of his marriage. Plans to be a loving and supporting parent to her. He also says he loves his wife and children, and he's going to do everything he can to regain their trust and earn their forgiveness. His one daughter did deactivate her social media now as a result to this post. He's considered the good man of rock.
Okay, I don't know. You guys texted me this yesterday, and you both had things to say, and my response was so. Like, and not. I know what you mean. That's not important in his life and his circle, but like for me, just okay.
Yeah, you're not justifying anything.
Right,
you're just saying
whatever.
His situation. Yeah, there's some reason why he felt he had to post about it. That's
my reaction.
That seems so strange to me, that the world we live in now, this era where he just decided, okay, I got to make sure everyone knows this. He wanted to own it before it got out a different way, maybe?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's what is it? The Hamilton Reynolds pamphlets or the papers, right? Where you just, you know what I have to do? If I don't want to be asked about this and I don't want people to wonder about this, then fine.
Get in front of it.
Right. Every tour stop, people asking, rumors, whatever. Fine. It's all out there. In fact, here's all of it. Yes.
Again, not defending or justifying any of it, but I've kind of assumed that rock stars always did this anyway.
Well, that was kind of my thing of the soul. Like, yes, and?
So I'm curious.
And now the news.
This is a different era we live in. We'll see. There's a lot of fans that were disappointed to hear that yesterday.
News is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management's Money Talk. That's heard Saturdays at 10 right here on WTMJ.
Quick question. How are you feeling in 2024? You're not alone if you're feeling stressed about your investment and retirement planning. There's inflation, market volatility, global unrest, and a presidential election that's going to have a huge impact on many levels. There's a lot going on, which might lead to anxiety and planning paralysis. How about this? Take control with help from Annex Wealth Management. Build a plan that matches up with you, your family, and your investment and retirement goals. Even better, Annex does it as a fee-only fiduciary with unbiased advice. We don't sell a thing. Annex offers financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth is a great fit for most, especially when approaching retirement. For those with high net worth and complex planning challenges, consider the Annex Private Client Experience. And if you're just starting out, Annex Ignite might be the right fit. Head to AnnexWealth.com, click the Get Started button. It only takes a couple of minutes. It's time to put things in order and lower the stress and anxiety. Know the difference with a fee-only fiduciary. That's Annex Wealth Management, AnnexWealth.com.
Heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes won't slow us down. Allergies, high blood pressure, shoulder pain, cancer. Nothing will keep us from pushing Wisconsin ahead. Because with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, forward progress is what we stand for. That means always pushing and always innovating. With new technologies and breakthrough treatments that make life better, whether we're sick or well. It means providing more convenience and more ways to receive medical excellence for all your health needs, for big and small. It means being there for you, our family, caring for yours. So let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep testing the limits of what medicine can do. Let's push ahead and make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
At 7:41, let's get a look at the morning drive, Deb.
Uh-oh. Now we got another accident. Here we go. We got westbound 94 at Mitchell Boulevard, left lane blocked with a crash there. And then we've got one on eastbound 94 at 68th Street. That's off on the left shoulder. And one more on northbound 4394, just as you're getting into the Plainfield curve. This is off on the right shoulder. Not seeing any squad with... Oh, actually, no. There is a squad with it now. So hopefully it'll get out of there sooner rather than later. It stays heavy all the way out of the Mitchell Interchange all the way up to Oklahoma Avenue anyway. Southbound 43 backing up from Silver Spring all the way down to Capitol Drive. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. We have some clouds out there early this morning with a couple small rain showers passing mainly north of Milwaukee. We'll see plenty of sunshine for the rest of the day. Some hazy skies with high temperatures in the mid-80s. Tonight, mostly clear, low temperatures falling into the lower 60s. On Thursday, we'll look for more sunshine, warm and hazy with high temperatures in the lower 80s. Some upper-level clouds will filter sunshine towards Friday with high temperatures in the upper 70s. Saturday's also looking dry, mostly cloudy skies with high temperatures in the upper 70s. Some small rain chances on Sunday with highs in the upper 70s. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore, the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Right now, Milwaukee at 63 degrees. We are just minutes away from the exact moment 23 years ago that a first plane hit, I believe it was the North Tower of the World Trade Center, initiating the attack on America. We're looking at a live feed right now from New York City, where at the 9/11 memorial, you have President Biden, Vice President Harris, former President Trump, his vice presidential nominee, J.D. Vance, all there.
They are right next to each other. The only person dividing those two couples is the former mayor of New York City, Mayor Bloomberg.
And so coming up on what will be the first of several moments of silence this morning, at 7:46 our time, watching various members of the Milwaukee Police Department, the New York Police Department, New York Fire, carrying in the American flag at the front end of this ceremony there at the 9/11 memorial.
And happening right now here locally at the War Memorial, ceremony is underway as we speak as well.
23 years ago today, and actually 23 years ago, just 2 minutes from now, when that first plane hit the North Tower of the World Trade Center. Of course, the other tower would fall as well. Shanksville, Pennsylvania, the crash of United Airlines Flight 93, and events at the Pentagon today as well for the observance of the plane that struck that building.
Outdoor living is great, but it's best when it's at your own home. Well, there's a company called Outdoor Living Unlimited that will build you a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, all manner of things to enhance outdoor living at your place, even an outdoor kitchen. Get started right away. Contact Outdoor Living Unlimited now. Get your yard project onto Outdoor Living Unlimited's calendar while there's still openings. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact NX Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at nxwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ. Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
The Brewers win 3-2 over the Giants in San Francisco. Everybody talking about this highlight Jackson Chourio catch.
Yastrzemski, left field line. Chourio runs it down for the final out and jumps into the netting to slow himself down. Trampolines himself back out with the assistance of some Giants fans.
Jeff Levering there on the Bally Sports call. Yeah, he was laying on the net there. They had to help him out, and the team basically escorted him back to the dugout. Pretty neat moment as the Brewers win. Same teams tonight right here on WTMJ.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited, and the man behind the call, Jeff Levering, on the line with us at 5:45 a.m. Pacific. Morning, Level.
Hey, good morning, guys. We're here. How we doing today?
Well, much better after that win, I got to tell you. I mean, I know they all count the
needed
same.
That one.
Really felt like we needed that one.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. And to get a couple of runs in the first inning and ride that to a victory, added one with the homer from Garrett Mitchell. It was a big win to get. Pitching was awesome. Cold night, just a great win in 2 hours and 7 minutes, no doubt.
So do they tell Jackson Chourio after that catch, hey, man, find a different way. Don't hurt yourself by diving into the stands?
I mean, he had a couple of them. I mean, he had the one where he trampolined out of the screen, and then early in the ball game, too, where there was a fly ball in the left field line, and the wind was crazy last night, and per San Francisco usual, it was swirling all over the place and put his back up against the wall and made a nice catch. I mean, that's part of the deal in San Francisco. You just got to get to know the wind, and it's very unpredictable. But for him, nice to be 20 years old, right? You can very
bounce right back up after that, right? Hey, is there something to this, Lev? I was saying to Erik, I mean, granted, part of it is his youth in Jackson Chourio. It to grow into the player that he is already defensively, but he also started the season in right field primarily. With the injury to Christian Yelich, he's now a left fielder. Those are very different positions, are they not?
Yeah, they are. I still think the hardest one to play is center field, but for Jackson Chourio, when he was originally signed, he was a shortstop. He has not been playing outfield for very long, so it's only a couple of years that he's really been a primary outfielder. So he's still learning the position, and playing in the big leagues is different than playing in the minor leagues. You have that extra tier. The lights are different. The ballparks are a lot different. I mean, just look at San Francisco compared to what American Family Field is. So he's learning the thing on the fly. I think he's more comfortable in left field, to be honest with you. He's played great in right, but I think left field is a much more comfortable position for him moving forward. But we'll see once Christian Yelich.
I'm smart about baseball. That's what I told. That's exactly what I told Erik.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, right field's a different animal. It just totally is, especially in San Francisco too, because of that ballpark, the way it's contoured. But left field is a much easier position, but he is much better in left, according to the metrics.
So how do you see things playing out rest of the series? We got 2 more here against the Giants, and then we go to Arizona. Arizona was hot for a bit, but they've cooled off a little.
Yeah, they have. I mean, the Snakes are always tough. They match up against the Brewers really well. The Brewers play them 7 times in 10 days with Philadelphia in the middle of it. Tonight is going to be a tough one with Blake Snell on the mound. He's been one of the best pitchers in baseball recently, and he's left-handed, so that usually gives the Brewers trouble, but hopefully they can get to Snell tonight. He has had some fits of wildness, so maybe tonight's a good night to get him. But it's a crucial time. The Brewers have the toughest schedule moving forward. Like I said, 7 out of 10 against Arizona. Got Philadelphia in the middle at home. It's a great home series, a chance to clinch on that homestand. So hopefully it all works out. Should be fun.
What's the magic number? We keep debating this. Pancake says it's 9.
Well, it's 9 to clinch the NL Central, right?
Is that what it is?
Yes, 9 to clinch the Central. Their magic number to get a postseason victory or a postseason berth is shorter. They could potentially get a postseason berth as early as Sunday. But to clinch the division, it's at 9.
Do we celebrate that? Do we celebrate just getting in, or do we gotta clinch the division to celebrate, right?
Yeah, let's do that.
It's a very minor celebration. It's not a balls to the wall, popping champagne, doing all that stuff. But you'll have a toast.
Okay, so let's do a toast for when we get in, right? And we're talking about the guys in the clubhouse, right? Toast for when we get in. When you clinch the division, then you can pop the champagne.
Yeah, cigars, champagne.
But then that's it until after you start winning series. Like I don't want one for if we lock up second place or the second best record.
No, this is like a milk toast when you make the postseason, and then when you clinch the division, that's when the champagne pops out, and then you go from there on the big celebrations.
Back to bed for you, Level, or what happens now? It's 10 minutes before 6.
I'm probably going to check in with my kids before they go to school, and then we'll see from there.
All right, Jeff Levering will be on the call again tonight. It's an 8:45 first pitch in San Francisco. Thanks, my friend.
You got it. See you guys next week.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tosher here for my friends at Kohler Services. If you need a bath or shower remodel, turn to Kohler Services. Family-owned business for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. And this month only, get $1,000 off and 0% interest for 12 months on your Lugstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast, professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Hey,
I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure of
1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
From removing unwanted clutter or junk to full-service residential or commercial cleanouts, get a free same-day estimate at twomenandajuncktruck.com. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Traffic sponsored by Two Men and a Junk Truck. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't, Debbie.
All right, squad still working on an accident northbound 4394. Just as you're getting into the Plainfield curve. It is off on the right shoulder. And then we've also got westbound 94 at Mitchell Boulevard. The left lane blocked with a crash there. Eastbound has got some backups with an accident at 68th Street off on the left shoulder, 68th. Then we've got backups coming out of the Zoo interchange to that point. Westbound's backed up out of the Marquette all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound on 43, heavy from about Silver Spring down past Capitol Drive. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
WTMJ forecast sponsored by Dave Drake Camp Heating, where your comfort is their family's tradition. High of 84 degrees today under sunny skies. 62 the low tonight. Mostly sunny, warm, and hazy Thursday. Thursday's high 83, 79 for the high on Friday. Saturday and Sunday, the high temperature of 78 degrees both days. Just a chance for a shower on Sunday. Right now, 63.
Idea Man.
I can conjugate the verb to be.
Innovator.
Eu sou, ela é, nós somos, ela são. I can do that all day, but I couldn't tell you 5 other words in the Portuguese language.
Isn't that funny?
And Packers Hall of Famer.
I don't know what the rationale is, but if you talk to pretty much any Wisconsin football player that has played in the past, they're going to tell you that they have taken at least a semester of Portuguese.
It's time for Tausch on Wisconsin's Morning News. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and Kohler Services.
Mark Tauscher on Wisconsin's Morning News is sponsored by Kohler Services.
And as was the story around the country yesterday, signs of patriotism are overt and in abundance.
Michaels on Monday Night Football 23 years ago, as then Packer Chris Giese was carrying out the American flag in the first Packers game back after the September 11th attack. So we mark that anniversary today. Tausch, you were on that team, man. What an amazing moment of all the things that we all remember about, you know, where this country was at that time. The couple weeks we went without sports, which bring us together. How important that moment was on national TV.
Yeah, I just remember that whole, it was probably a 2-week window where, we woke up and it was like legit just like this. I had a 8:30 in the morning hit that I was doing as a young player up in Green Bay, and that's when all of the news was breaking, and then all of that uncertainty, and then, going in, because it was our off day, it was a Tuesday, then we went in on Wednesday, and none of us as players, coaches, had any concept of what was going to happen. The games were not canceled at that point, and then that week everything gets canceled, and then I remember, a bunch of us went down to Milwaukee on that weekend because we had the weekend free open now because the games were canceled, and I just remember how patriotic everybody was. I remember we were sitting in a steakhouse and firefighters came in and everybody was, putting money in and just give it just that unity, all of that, and then that all culminated with that clip that you sent, because then the next week the NFL decided it was time to get back out there, get back to normalcy, and that game it sticks with me forever because I'll never forget the raw emotions of being at Lambeau Field that night, and when Chris Gizzi, who had served our country, carried that flag out, and the cascade of emotions throughout that place of trying to get back to some normalcy, and everybody was in it together. It was a really powerful night at Lambeau.
What did we do? I forgot, Tausch. Did we push the season then? Just pushed it like a couple of weeks and then
it was later, so I think they got rid of because we ended up playing. We were supposed to play the New York Giants that week on the road. So obviously we kind of knew we were not going to be playing. That's at least what we thought. Obviously, because we weren't far from where all of the Twin Towers fell. So they just added a week, and then I think somehow got rid of the bye week between the Super Bowl what I think happened. Everything got pushed. So that was that was how that all shook out. And that, of course, was the Michael Strahan sack game where he set the record with sacking Brett Favre. And it so happened it was in January instead of obviously it wouldn't have happened in September.
And you make a great point, though, about how badly we needed sports. I mean, this is still a place where we come together. There are very few things that we all do together in real time anymore because of streaming and because of stuff like that. But we still largely all watch the Super Bowl live when it happens. These events bring us together. It was so important.
Yeah, and now, I mean, if you look at it, it's just think of even how much more things have kind of gotten separate from where it was even in 2001. But I'll never forget Mike Sherman was our coach, and I think, at that point everything was, let's figure out ways to help, people donate blood and everything else. And Mike Sherman said, let's not diminish. Now, granted, police and firefighters, obviously with what they did, but don't diminish the role sports has in life. And kind of what you just echoed there, Vinny, the sports is really important. It means a lot to a lot of people, and make sure you take that responsibility seriously in your preparation and everything else, because you have a chance to do some really great unifying things because of the community and how that all shakes itself out. So that was one thing I think in sports, we all think it's a little frivolous and it's fun, and it is. It is fun, but it is really important too.
Thanks, Tausch. Really appreciate your memories on that today.
You got it, guys.
Talk Badgers with Tausch tomorrow. We got Alabama coming to town on Saturday, so we'll do a little bit of that with Tausch tomorrow. It is 7:59 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Phones aren't wired to the wall anymore. We carry them in our pockets. Cars can even drive themselves, right? Technology advances have changed our lives.
That's football legend Emmitt Smith.
Some of the most fascinating advances are happening with the medical professionals at QC Kinetics. I'm talking about natural regenerative treatments for joint pain without surgery or harmful drugs.
Tens of thousands of patients have discovered these breakthroughs firsthand at QC Kinetics. With over 100 board-certified providers across the country, they're transforming the world of pain treatment using your body's own healing properties to help restore your aching joints.
Why would you keep going back to the old tired ways of treating chronic joint pain? Check out the latest advances at QC Kinetics. And here's an idea for you. You can call them on that smartphone right there in your pocket.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Buying a home should be a joy, but could you imagine doing this without a realtor? Paperwork, inspections, appraisals, deadlines, showings, market research? Or you could relax. Or understanding legal documents, negotiating offers, coordinating inspections, securing finance. Oh, sorry. A realtor can take the stress out of the home buying process. See how at wra.org/a-realtor-can. Brought to you by the Wisconsin Realtors Association.
Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Hi, I'm Jim Token, president of Adam. Do you ever miss the good old days?
When you didn't need a password to do everything but tie your shoes?
No, I'm talking about car shopping, when dealer lots were filled with new inventory and there were big incentives and discounts. Well, those days are back at Adam member dealers all over Metro Milwaukee, making it a great time to go car or truck shopping again.
I suppose I need a password.
No, just find your nearest Adam member dealer or start your new car search at adam.com.
This week's Home Improvement Showcase is brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors, your exterior renovation experts.
Swing and a miss. Went back to old reliable. San Francisco Bay.
The Brewers are back at the Bay to take on the Giants. Our coverage begins tonight at 8:10. We are your home for the Milwaukee Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
8:01, I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News. Wednesday, September 11th, our top story. Both sides claiming victory after the debate.
I'm Erik Bilstad. The search for a missing diver.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Still have the left lane blocked on westbound 94 at Mitchell Boulevard. That's got a crash there, so be careful. Delays coming out of the Marquette. Eastbound, an accident at 68th Street off on the left shoulder, creating some delays from the zoo to that point. But back that up in Waukesha County through the construction zone from Elmhurst Road all the way past Highway 16, going to be a bit slow. Also have an accident northbound 4394, still being worked on the right shoulder, just as you're getting into the Plainfield curve coming out of the Mitchell interchange. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Hazy and warm today under mostly sunny skies with a high of 84. Mostly clear tonight, low down to 62. Milwaukee temp right now at 63.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center. Remembrances are taking place across the country right now in New York City as well, marking 23 years since the September 11th attacks. Among those on hand in Lower Manhattan right now, ABC's Aaron Katursky.
President Biden, Harris, Trump, his running mate J.D. Vance are all here to mark 23 years since the September 11th attacks. And it makes the ceremony a temporary focal point of the campaign, but it is meant to be free of politics. There are no speeches, only the solemn recitation of names interrupted by the tolling of a bell.
The president and the vice president just separated by one person, the former mayor of New York City, Mayor Bloomberg, in the middle between the other two, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Again, a memorial service is also taking place at the War Memorial in downtown Milwaukee right now.
Vice President Harris, former President Trump, both fresh off the debate stage and both claiming victory following Tuesday night's showdown in Philadelphia.
It was quite unusual, but former President Donald Trump showed up in the spin room where supporters go before the media after a debate. Trump cited unnamed post-debate polls showing him the overwhelming winner.
This was my best debate. I thought it was very good. I thought she was very weak on foreign policy.
Vice President Harris didn't hit the spin room, but she and First Gentleman Doug Emhoff did appear on stage before supporters.
She showed everyone, especially Donald Trump, what a real leader is.
For her part, Harris was mindful of the crucial battleground state the debate was in.
We have got to win Pennsylvania.
Michael Toscano, CBS News.
Happening right now in Wisconsin, the search for a missing diver who was last seen exploring an underwater shipwreck on Tuesday morning.
The mission for rescuers on Lake Michigan is tough. The diver not only went missing 6 miles from the shore in Pleasant Prairie, they were also last seen about 100 feet underwater. We're only told the diver was in need of emergency assistance. Lake conditions were not good last night. They plan to resume their efforts with the U.S. Coast Guard today. Julia Fellow, WTMJ News.
Francine, a Category 1 hurricane now as it moves northeast through the Gulf of Mexico. The storm expected to gain strength before hitting the Louisiana coast this evening.
Anticipating a potential 5 to 10 foot storm surge, business owners in Lafourche Parish are sandbagging and boarding up. Hurricane veterans have a well-practiced routine.
Raising everything up is most important.
Robert Berg lives in Grand Isle, Louisiana.
You kind of are used to having water come into it, and so moving anything important to the upstairs.
Not that he'll be around to see Francine arrive.
We're getting out of here.
He was towing his boat off of Grand Island, headed for higher ground. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
1,000 firefighters from across Southern California are trying to contain the so-called airport fire that's already burned about 10,000 acres. As of Tuesday evening, Orange County Fire Chief Brian Finesse says the wildfire had zero containment.
You get dry brush, high temperatures, steep to top topography, and an ignition. That's a formula for the problems that we're experiencing today.
It sounds like that fire was started accidentally by heavy equipment.
Coming up, from going viral for the wrong reasons to ranked number 1 in the world. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:06.
WTMJ's Greg Matzik here for Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac, the destination for Wisconsin's best 2024 closeout sale. It's where to score deep closeout savings on favorites from Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. Get more for your trade and discover car buying that makes fans of drivers from all over the Badger State. Fans like me. Fun, simple, and pressure-free car shopping is the way it works at Holiday. Their transparent, simplified pricing and buying approach lets you relax and focus on finding the one that's right for you, then pairing it up with enticing, money-saving incentives and offers to lower your bottom line. I've driven with Holiday a long time. The team culture, passion for excellence, and friendly, upbeat atmosphere is real. It wins fans and has earned them top-ranked status as Wisconsin's #1 Buick and GMC dealer per 2023 Buick and GMC Zone sales records. Find yours, discover the difference, and drive it home today from Holiday, Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC in Fond du Lac and online at holidaygm.com. It's worth the trip.
Save up to 50% on better quality furniture and mattresses during the Labor Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 8:07.
Collision on the tarmac of the world's busiest airport gave passengers on both planes a jolt. Damage to the two Delta planes, pretty extensive. ABC's Rhiannon Ally tells us what happened at Hartsfield-Jackson in Atlanta.
Two Delta planes colliding.
It felt and sounded like a car crash.
The larger plane's wing breaking off the tail of that smaller jet. The larger plane was headed to Japan. Grant Edwards was among the hundreds of passengers.
It was a hard bomb.
The smaller regional jet was headed to Louisiana. Passengers describing a loud scraping sound, some thrown from their seats.
There was, kind of that crunch. There was that push that you get.
Passengers were bussed back to the terminal.
No injuries reported on either of the impacted planes.
Lines remain long to get chicken fingers in Brookfield these days at the latest Raising Cane's to open in Wisconsin. Regional VP of the restaurant chain, Kevin Ryan, tells WTMJ's The Upswing more locations could be right around the corner.
We're looking to get Eau Claire open up in the next few months here. Janesville probably within the next 6 months, and then La Crosse will be towards next year.
So the Brookfield location is the second to open in the greater Milwaukee area. It's the fourth in the entire state. Where's the other one? Is by you,
Yeah,
right?
It's us, Greendale.
Yeah.
Right by Southridge.
Lines long over there, too?
Yeah. Like to the point where you're like, what are they selling drugs over there? Like, what are they giving out free weed? What is going on?
Must be really good.
It's really good chicken, apparently. Remember we talked about the Australian breakdancer Ray Gun?
Yes.
Who actually was so bad and then got so harassed for it, had to issue a statement after the Olympics. She is currently the top-ranked breakdancer in the world. That, according to World Dance Sport Federation, she and fellow breaker Rico tied for the highest score internationally, but Ray Gun's recent championship at the Oceania Continental takes precedence as the tiebreaker.
I went out there and I had fun. I did take it very seriously. I worked my butt off preparing for the Olympics, and I gave my all, truly.
So also important to note, the Olympics did not count toward those rankings, and every other major breakdancing event was canceled this year so athletes could prepare for the games.
And there are only two contestants.
We're in this other one, right.
My goodness.
8:09 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Moving Grave's headquarters to downtown Milwaukee was the right decision for the future of our company. Hi, I'm John Kissinger, President and CEO of Grave, a full-service engineering, planning, and design firm. We wanted to be part of downtown's vibrancy. Our goal was to create a collaborative and innovative work environment that would attract the next generation of talent. I love working downtown, and so do my employees. Experience it for yourself. Go to MilwaukeeDowntown.com.
So glad I got to experience myself what it's like. Vince Vitrano for Johnson & Sons Paving. Grateful for the experience where the boys put me up on the paver of a major project at Mayfair. What I got to see and experience as Dave the paver had me up there steering it is, one, how many people are involved in this process. I mean, they were repaving a big section of the parking lot at Macy's. I got to experience what a challenge it is to do the job right. And then you got to see firsthand how much pride this local paving team takes in the work that they do. From concept to design to actually laying down the asphalt or the concrete. Everybody works together, gets the quality job done. And then think about trust. Mayfair Mall, Macy's, big businesses in our area. They trust the Johnson family. Trust Johnson & Sons Paving for their important projects. It's how you know you can trust them on yours, residential and commercial, asphalt and concrete. JohnsonandSonsPaving.com.
Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
Hey, I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
At 8:12, an update on the morning drive here, Deb.
Yep, westbound on 94. We got an accident with the left lane blocked with a crash there with backups all the way back to the Marquette. So keep that in mind. Eastbound 94, earlier accident around 68th Street. Looks like that got cleared out of the way. We do still have delays coming in from Highway G to Highway 16 and then from 84th Street through the Stadium interchange. And then we've also got an accident northbound 4394 coming out of the Mitchell just before the Plainfield curve off on the right shoulder. Should be just about gone. I think just a squad is left over there. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
High of 84 degrees today under mostly sunny skies, but hazy as well. Skies clear out tonight, low down to 62. And then for Thursday, mostly sunny and a high of 83. Right now at 63 in Milwaukee.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's Erik Bilstad and Vince Vitrano.
8:13 on a Wednesday morning. We got 26 emails. 26 into our newsroom from the Trump campaign, Harris campaign, RNC, DNC, various surrogates, some coming in real time, others after the debate. Both sides spinning that it was their candidate who crushed it.
Tonight, the high-stakes showdown here in Philadelphia between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. Their first face-to-face meeting in this presidential election, their first face-to-face meeting ever. So let's now welcome the candidates to the stage. Vice President Kamala Harris and President Donald Trump.
Kamala Harris, let's have a good debate.
Nice to see you. Have fun.
You added that pancake. That wasn't...
This isn't the music.
The music that they used on ABC.
Pretty darn close at times, the way we do our politics these days.
Yeah, what does Tausch call it? The sportification of politics?
Absolutely.
All right, let's have at it. How about that handshake, though?
Right out of the gate.
Right? It was
Awkward.
weird right from the get-go. I suppose, though, I think part of that is because there's no audience. So another one of these debates with no audience, which, as a consumer of the debate from my couch, I like.
From now on.
Yep.
Execution style, as far as the way they had that set up with the mic situation and the no crowds, absolutely 100% every time.
You don't have to wait for the moderators to tell folks, we asked you to hold your applause. You know, you don't have to hoot and holler and whatever. We can just get to what he says, what she says, and get through it. But it did create that moment where usually when they walk out on stage to applause, at least they do their look and their point. You know, oh, yeah, oh, there you are. Yeah, hello, right? You wonder if they actually see anyone.
Yeah, you made it. Thanks.
Right. Oh, good. Yep, there you are. Hello. But they didn't have that, so they just kind of sort of walked near their podium, and then she was a little bit quicker than he was. So she's, are you going to meet me here, or should I go to you?
I think, she was set on shaking his hand, and I think he wasn't sure whether or not they were doing that or not. And
right. So they did. She actually told him her name. I'm Kamala Harris.
Do you think that was intentional?
And he told her to have fun. All right, have fun.
Do you think she said her name intentionally, or is that just
because he's been mispronouncing it?
Yeah, or was it just I'm nervous and I'm meeting someone and I say their name?
I don't know. I suppose both are plausible, but virtually everything is calculated in one of these, right?
Right?
Must have thought
Always.
about that moment before. I do think also, here's two people who haven't met. They've obsessed over one another
for
years and years, right? They're widely aware of one another. it's like a boxer getting ready for that big match, right? You got the picture of the person up in the mirror, like Rocky did, but they've never actually met. And all of a sudden that person's real and in front of you.
And then they were together again today at the 9/11 memorial. Like literally standing, 3 people apart from each other.
So by no means will this be a comprehensive review of an hour-and-a-half debate, but we'll bring you some of the highlights. You want something funny first?
Okay.
Do you want the story behind the pets?
Yeah, we need to hear about the dogs.
Okay, here he is.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
So what anyway is this about?
You hear the people laughing in the background?
Right,
too?
and I didn't even know where that came from because there weren't that many people there, like right there in the room. It was kind of a bizarre moment, but he is talking about Springfield, Ohio. And the former president says the community is overrun there by illegal immigrants. And he didn't pull this pet thing out of thin air. There was a social media post that suggested as much, that it went viral. But media all over then investigated that, have debunked it or called it a rumor at best. There's no confirmation. In fact, Muir kind of fact-checked him on it, said, do you have that?
I have a little bit of that.
There have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is the
people on television say my dog was taken and used for food.
Okay, whether they did or whether they didn't, even regardless of that, you have to think the Trump team is at that point going, whoa,
move on.
This is not what we talked about. Right? So, and the look on Vice President Harris's face at that was almost like, sir, really? So I didn't think that was a great moment for the former president, but that's the story behind the story of why he's talking about the pets and the cats.
Right. Also addressed foreign policy. The former president says the Middle East will be in rough shape if Harris were in office.
If she's president, I believe that Israel will not exist within 2 years from now. And I've been pretty good at predictions, and I hope I'm wrong about that one.
More from the former president?
The whole place is going to get blown up. Arabs, Jewish people, Israel will be gone.
Now, here's what's interesting. This tends to happen. The candidates basically project what they believe will happen if the other person is office. And they both did it. Vice President Kamala Harris addressing Putin and what Russia has done and what they would do if Trump were in office.
Putin would be sitting in Kyiv with his eyes on the rest of Europe, starting with Poland. And why don't you tell the 800,000 Polish Americans right here in Pennsylvania how quickly you would give up for the sake of favor and what you think is a friendship with what is known to be a dictator who would eat you for lunch.
So I think to your point, though, about how we got to hear like very different visions for national security. We got to have them. They each put their statements out for whatever value that you put on that. If you're listening right now, that's fine. But at least you got to hear it instead of them bickering back and forth like we'd seen in some of these other debates.
100% agree. 100% agree. As far as, you can challenge policy, facts and all this different stuff. But as far as hearing from their own mouth what they think, how they feel on certain things, I thought this is one of the best debates we've ever seen.
Let's cut through abortion here. Kind of a tough issue for the former president because most Americans, according to polls and their voting, suggest that most Americans want at least some access to legal abortion. What that looks like within people's personal ethics varies widely, but most want some access to legal abortion. Trump clarifying his stance on this particular issue.
Now, I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother. I believe strongly in it. Ronald Reagan did also.
But his Supreme Court picks brought down Roe v. Wade, and he said it took courage for him to make those appointments and to make that happen. But he now has to own that. And his contention is now states, and in some cases states have already gone to referendum and asked the voters directly, asked the people directly, what do you want to do for abortion law? And Trump says, yeah, that's what we wanted.
This is an issue that's torn our country apart for 52 years. Every legal scholar, every Democrat, every Republican, liberal, conservative, they all wanted this issue to be brought back to the states where the people could vote.
So Vice President Harris arguing that is exactly not what people wanted.
Pregnant women who want to carry a pregnancy to term, suffering from a miscarriage, being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. She didn't want that.
She did close by pledging to sign a bill that would make abortion protection federal law if that were to pass Congress and reach her desk as president.
Vice President addressing economy.
I love our small businesses. My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to start-up small businesses, knowing they are part of the backbone of America's economy.
The former president saying tariffs would return, but also said inflation under the current administration has been a disaster.
We have inflation like very few people have ever seen before, probably the worst in our nation's history. We were at 21%, but that's being generous because many things are 50, 60, 70, and 80% higher than they were just a few years ago.
Former president also said a lot of the jobs that have been created under the current administration are bounce-back jobs, and jobs that were eliminated during COVID that have now returned.
Yeah, that's an area where I wanted a little bit more, and if they do have another debate, I'd like to get a little bit more into economy because regardless of what you think of Vice President Harris or even for President Biden, you go to the grocery store and stuff's still too expensive. Maybe you blame them, maybe you don't. But either way, what's the plan there? Gas prices are coming back down now, but were high. Other things are, up there in cost. It's hard to buy a car. It's hard to buy a house. Interest rates are still high. She has to own that record to a degree.
Yeah, you see,
But then separate herself in some way, saying, well, I wasn't actually the president. That's nuanced. Kind of like Trump has to be nuanced on the abortion issue. She has to be nuanced on that. How do you say, you were in there for 3.5 years. Now you're saying, well, we need to bring down prices. Yeah, well, what have you done the last 3.5 years? She has to figure out. I'd like to hear more from her on that, and that's one of his stronger areas. It seems odd that still from time to time, when they were on economy, he just drifted off into these other areas.
Well, one of the things that the VP had a lot of success with last night, and Trump supporters will agree because we heard them say so. We heard them say so last night in the spin room, is that she often baited him. She was able to distract him from message by, she'd just drop a little nugget, she'd just drop a hook, and he'd go after it, and he would lose a lot of his time on whatever he was supposed to be talking about, reacting to something that she had said.
Here, perfect example. You want the soundbite from the rallies?
Yes. Right? It's a great example.
Last thing you want to do or at least last thing he wants is for someone to pick on his rallies. He's very proud of, the large crowds that he gets and all that. So she goes here.
You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you.
No, he didn't want to hear about that.
She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there, and then showing them in a different light. So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. That's because people want to take their country back.
My rally's bigger than your rally.
It was a brilliant little tactic move. It worked a couple of different times. In fact, Fox News, a lot of the supporters after the speeches, after the debates, were frustrated by it.
Former President Trump did take a lot of the bait that she threw out.
He went down a few cat and dog holes.
Make no mistake about it. Trump had a bad night. He rose to the bait repeatedly when she baited him.
This was rough. He had some moments where you were like, oh my God, where are we going with this?
It was Jesse Waters there.
Right, that was MSNBC?
No, that was Fox News.
Right, so we'll see if there's another matchup. She's indicated that she wants one. Vice President Harris says she does, and President Trump, who made the rare move to appear in the spin room immediately after and allowed people to interview him. He said he thought he had a good night and that he would be open to at least talking about a second contest.
Game changer, man. Everything about this campaign has flipped. Like, everything is different now than how you've ever campaigned before. The fact that he was in the spin room and she was out holding a rally. She held a rally after the debate. Everything is different. Usually they would disappear. We wouldn't hear from them again. And here we are.
So the debate was an hour and a half. We just gave you 10, 15 minutes there. So hardly comprehensive, but a few highlights for you this morning.
One of the bigger stories, I shouldn't say bigger stories, but a story that did come out of last night was Taylor Swift is now officially weighing in and now, as expected, is putting her support behind Harris Walls.
Oh, I guess I'll change my vote then. Right? Yes, okay. Right. Now that she's in. I'm not saying she doesn't have a right to be in, but just who was waiting for that?
It's here's the reaction from Trump when he was asked about it.
What is your reaction to Taylor Swift's endorsement of Kamala Harris?
I have no idea.
And that was the right answer to that question, no doubt. 8:25.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Now, I sure like stuff that's simple. Vince Vitrano for absolute comfort, HVAC and electrical. I love when folks who do work in my home make it easier for me. Just got my annual renewal notice. See, I got the gold plan with your comfort, guys. That means 2 visits a year, furnace service in the fall, air conditioner in the spring. Nicole and Brent at Absolute Comfort HVAC and Electrical, they'll be happy to respond to your emergency. But when you get on that plan, then you get priority scheduling and 24-hour service in those emergencies. Plus, 15% discount on any needed parts, 5% off new equipment, and the peace of mind of having your heating and cooling units serviced and running at peak efficiency. And here's how easy they make it. They actually reached out to me when I was up for renewal. You do it all online, $150, pay by the month or one time on your card, and you're done. In fact, just got the call from the office. They're like, all right, let's get your furnace service scheduled. So got to give them a call back and get on that schedule. Absolute Comfort HVAC and Electrical. Tell them Vinny sent you. 262-664-9284. Your Comfort Guys. That's yourcomfortguys.com.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at wipga.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we get you the farm supplies you need because we get you. That's why we offer unbeatable prices on trusted brands like Carl Star Ag, Power Sports, and Trailer Replacement Tires, 10% off. $30 off select Kurt trailer hitches, including special orders. And 40-pound bags of Guardian pelleted pine bedding, buy 2, get 1 half off for rewards members. Plus, we've been working with our brand partners to get prices down. So shop our new lower everyday prices store-wide at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Lance Saigon died as a prisoner of war in Vietnam. His memory has been maintained in a replica of his fighter jet at the Milwaukee airport. The plane is now in need of major renovations. Join John McCure in our WTMJ Cares campaign as we restore the plane back to the dignity that matches the honor of Captain Saigon. Text Lance to 855-616-1620 for information on how you can help preserve this legacy to Lance in its full glory.
Coming up on 8:30 here, Debbie, at this point, 23 years ago on September 11th, both planes had already hit the towers of the World Trade Center. They were burning at this time, and soon hereafter, we'd have a plane that hit the Pentagon as we mark this anniversary. When you're done with your traffic, Eric's going to play something from On the Air that day, what it sounded like here on WTMJ in those moments 23 years ago.
All righty. Well, westbound on 94, we do have an accident that has the left lane blocked right at Mitchell Boulevard. So obviously we got delays all the way back through the Marquette, pretty much in all directions. So just be extra careful there. Eastbound 94, a bit heavy from Elmhurst Road to Highway 16 through that construction zone. And then back on the brakes from just before 84th Street all the way to 35th. We've got southbound 43 getting a bit heavy from just north of Hampton down to Capitol. Westbound 894 backups out of the Mitchell interchange heading all the way to 68th Street through that construction zone. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
In 16 years at WTMJ, I literally said breaking news thousands of times. This was not just a breaking news story, but probably the biggest story we would ever be covering.
Guys, excuse me a second. Jim, I'm sorry, I got to interrupt here. We got a big breaking story out of New York.
Started out as a normal Tuesday morning. The late Jim Irwin was on the air with his sports commentary.
John, we got a big story breaking in New York.
The 737 has crashed into the World Trade Center.
Things quickly escalated from there.
There is a gaping hole right now, and thick black smoke with flames is pouring out.
I kept my eye on the TV, and from my time in New York was able to orient listeners on what was happening where.
Thank goodness we had John Belmont there from New York, who knew the groundwork, knew what the World Trade Center was, knew the lay of the land.
The north building at the World Trade Center in New York is gone. It has collapsed. This is more horrific than any special effects you've seen in films. And I was concerned.
I knew how many thousands of people worked there and could only imagine what the death toll would be.
I think what gets lost is the total fear, the actual terror that it was, as we did not know what was going to happen next. We got another plane crash, guys. This is from Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. Large plane crashes in western Pennsylvania.
I recall John and I talked about how this must be terrorism.
They want you to feel insecure in your own home. They want you to wonder.
Working.
That is. I mean,
it's working, Charlie.
It's something.
I'll tell you for me.
And again, just from
over the years, I think the most satisfying thing has been just how many people trusted the station.
I'm proud of the coverage that we did that day.
And we were on almost every radio in Milwaukee that day.
We tried to provide as much information as we could and tried to make it local to how it affected us locally here in Milwaukee and in Wisconsin. And I think we did a good job of that. The state capitol, the Wisconsin state capitol, has actually been shut down, locked down.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right, enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit diamondsdirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
I'm Kamala Harris. Here's a few things I believe. Middle-class families, like the one I grew up in, they want common sense solutions. You want lower prices and lower taxes. I believe you want to just not get by, but you want to get ahead. We must create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to get a car loan, buy a home, start a business. And I believe we can make that happen.
Kamala Harris's plan? Bring down costs by cracking down on corporate price gougers. Make homeownership more affordable for families. A middle-class tax cut for 100 million Americans. And make sure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share so you can keep more of the money you've earned.
Instead of being focused on the politics of the past, we need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
We know how difficult the decision can be to downsize and move from your longtime home. This is Senior Real Estate Specialist Bruce Nemovitz of Bruce's team. We're here to guide you through every step of the way, from downsizing and selling your home to moving to your new lifestyle. With over 35 years of experience, we've helped thousands of folks just like you. Visit brucesteam.com or call 262-242-6177.
When you're due for tire service, visit richlands.com for the location nearest you.
We'll give you a free flat tire repair on every tire we install. No questions asked. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands. You're due for service.
Richlands. Traffic is sponsored by Hall Mazda Milwaukee. Visit hallmazdamilwaukee.com.
While you're navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Volkswagen Traffic Tip Line. 414-238-9329.
At 8:35, I'm Vince Vitrano on Wisconsin's Morning News. September 11th, our top story. reacting in Milwaukee to the heated debate in Philly.
I'm Erik Bilstad, honoring the fallen 23 years later.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Southbound 43 going to be heavy before Hampton all the way down to Capitol Drive. More delays into the Marquette because westbound on 94, right about at Mitchell Boulevard, we've got the left lane blocked with a crash. Eastbound 94 slowing down from Elmhurst to Highway 16. Back on the brakes from 92nd Street all the way through the Stadium interchange. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
On our way to a high of 84 degrees. Could be a bit hazy today, otherwise mostly sunny. And tonight's low down to 62.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center.
Sharon A. Carver. William E. Caswell.
Remembrances are taking place all across the country, marking 23 years since the September 11th attacks. Those commemoration events taking place here in Wisconsin as well.
A theme of unity at the remembrance event held today at Milwaukee's War Memorial Center.
Today, as we remember those who we lost, I want us to also remember the spirit of unity that emerged from that day and the bond that we all share.
There's more that brings us together in this country than separates us.
Alderman Scott Spiker tells WTMJ the lessons in unity learned after 9/11 are quite applicable in an election year.
Once this election is over, there's going to be a great opportunity to come together. If you don't seize that opportunity, you do disservice to the memory of those who died 23 years ago.
At the War Memorial Center in Milwaukee, Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
This morning, both the Harris and Trump campaigns claim victory following the presidential debate in Philadelphia.
It was quite unusual, but former President Donald Trump showed up in the spin room where supporters go before the media after a debate. Trump cited unnamed post-debate polls showing him the overwhelming winner.
This was my best debate. I thought it was very good. I thought she was very weak on foreign policy.
Vice President Harris didn't hit the spin room, but she and First Gentleman Doug Emhoff did appear on stage before supporters.
She showed everyone, especially Donald Trump, what a real leader is.
For her part, Harris was mindful of the crucial battleground state the debate was in.
We have got to win Pennsylvania.
Michael Toscano, CBS News.
Charges for a deadly crash in Germantown that killed a 19-year-old young woman. Javante Spikes, who's also 19, of West Bend, faces 4 felonies now. The charges stem from a crash that killed Samantha Rakor, 19 years old, also injured a 17-year-old. According to prosecutors, Spikes lost control of a vehicle. He was being chased by police when he hit a tree. He'll be back in court in a couple of weeks.
Just a bit outside, a documentary story of the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers has a VIP star-studded premiere tonight and then will be in Marcus Theaters later this week.
We all think we know the story of 82, but we don't know the story behind the story of 82.
Brookfield's Sean Hannis produced the film along with friend and fellow Wisconsinite Kelly Call.
The story seems to work whether you are really familiar with what happened or you don't know the players or the team at all. You couldn't write this stuff. You really couldn't.
From Paul Molitor and Robin Yount to Bud Selig and Bob Euchre, no stone was left unturned.
We had about 100 hours of archival along with 45 hours of interviews. They pulled stuff that I don't think people have seen before.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
The film will be in theaters throughout southeast Wisconsin again later this week.
Time now for News About Your Money, the WTMJ NX Wealth Management market update. Right now, the Dow is down 356 to start the day. The NASDAQ up 36, the S&P down 19. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Coming up, you won't see Storm Team 4 Chief Meteorologist Brian Iznansky on the air for days, if not longer, and it's a little bit my fault. That story next. News is sponsored by Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialist. Retire well with Kowal.
As life changes, your needs change too, which is why it's so important to work with a financial advisor who understands your needs as you approach retirement or if you're already there. Hi, I'm Jeff Kowal of Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialist. We understand retirement planning because retirement is what we do. For over 36 years, we've been helping our clients retire on their terms with our streamlined retirement process. We go beyond investment management to truly understand you, your goals, your concerns, and your vision of retirement. Our process is designed to help you get the most out of your lifetime of hard work and retire well. If you're close to or already in retirement and have $750,000 or more in investable assets, now is the time to meet with our fiduciary advisors. Give our office a call today at 262-522-4040, 262-522-4040, or visit thekowalway.com to schedule your no-obligation retirement review.
Kowal Investment Group is a registered investment advisor.
for love of the game
There's nothing like being selected to the Olympic team.
and love of their country.
Championship of that level, gold medal, means more.
Tune into Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Inside stories from Buck stars on the agony and triumph of competing to win it all at the Olympics. It's Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzek. Have you been to the Hounds and Tap yet? In Menominee Falls, this state-of-the-art facility and the ultimate hangout for hounds and humans. Grab a drink at the indoor-outdoor tavern, let your dogs hang out. You can even book professional grooming services, from pedicures to full spa treatments. Every day is a play day at the Hounds and Tap. Hang out with your dog and others, or drop your dog off for doggy daycare or doggy boarding services. Check out thehoundsandtap.com. That's thehoundsandtap.com.
So remember that time, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, we had Niznansky on, as we often do, Storm Team 4 Chief Meteorologist, Brian Niznansky. And we were kind of giving him the business because he had called me up asking about his appendix.
Because his stomach wasn't feeling good, right? He was feeling pain.
A little sore.
Sore, okay.
Right. I had my appendix out maybe 3-4 years ago, which is late in life to have that happen to you. But your appendix becomes inflamed, and pretty much what they do is they take it out because you can't risk it rupturing.
And you don't need it.
That can kill you.
Yeah.
Right. And you don't need it. You had yours out little,
I was
right?
11, yeah. It was excruciating.
But you're right. You remember being in excruciating pain, right?
Yes.
As did I, despite the fact I did go to work that day.
That's a whole other story.
But they sent me home because I was doubled over, right? So Niznansky calls me up and he's like, hey, yeah, when you had your appendix out, and I'm like, no, dude, like you would know. You would know something is seriously wrong. I'm like, it hurt. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't function.
So this was weeks ago when he
weeks ago, right? He does need his appendix out. He is in the hospital right now.
No.
Yes. That can kill you, man. Like if it ruptures and you don't get that treated.
That's super serious, yep.
So, and I talked to Niz. He said it was okay that I shared this story. Not entirely on my shoulders, though, either. He went to urgent care, and they basically told him the same thing. Like, no, man, if this were appendix related, like you would be in the hurt locker right now. And so they sent him home from urgent care.
So what do you think it was? Like a pulled muscle?
They thought like a sports hernia, something in there,
okay.
Or a pulled muscle. Right, because he's active and he's athletic and, does that. So he waited weeks and sat on this thing, and he said the pain got worse. And then he said, he had a bad night the other night, like fever and chills. And he's like, all right, that's that. And sure enough, in a sort of medical anomaly, so the docs told him that some sort of membrane sort of formed around that area, which maybe prevented it from hurting more. Also, very fortunate since it does appear to have ruptured. Like,
oh, no.
It's containing some of the bad stuff that can really cause problems.
The membrane has caught it all?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
But now it's going to be a delay till he can even have it removed. They got to splash it with all sorts of antibiotics and get some of the inflammation down, apparently, because the surgeon won't touch it yet. But he's got to stay in the hospital because it's really serious.
So no more forecasting for a bit.
Yeah, so he's down for a little bit, and that's why. And he said it was okay to share it. Also, moral of the story probably is seek medical advice elsewhere than Vinny.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm glad we have that straight now.
Right. So if you have anything, like don't listen to whatever I tell you.
I'll just Google.
No, you don't need to get that checked. That's fine. No, you're good. 8:44 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Vince Vitrano here. Fall is upon us, and this week, WTMJ's Home Improvement Showcase features Ridgetop Exteriors for all your exterior home improvement needs. Ridgetop Exteriors provides the best quality roofing, siding, and windows and doors, expertly installed and at affordable prices. You can get a free estimate for your next project by logging on to ridgetopexteriors.com. Check out our Home Improvement Showcase page on WTMJ.com to learn more.
Bank 59 has a mission to make lives better. That mission extends beyond their customers and communities to their employees. Bank 59 was just honored again by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as a top workplace. That makes 15 years in a row. In fact, they were named the #1 midsize employer in the region and earned special recognition for the company's overall direction. Want to learn more about working with the great people at Bank 59? Visit bank59.com/careers. Equal Opportunity Employer, member FDIC.
Jeff Levering here. How are baseball and Pella windows and doors of Wisconsin alike? Pella manufactures all their own products. Baseball teams develop their own players in the minors. Pella tests every product thousands of times to ensure it stands the test of time. A baseball player's ultimate test is to get called up to the big leagues, hoping to play well enough to stay. Right now, at Pella, get as low as $18 per window and $81 per patio door per month. Certain restrictions apply. It ends September 30th. Visit PellaWI.com today.
The Mind Chef restaurant in Hartford and Oshkosh just lowered their dine-in Wednesday and Friday fish fry price to $4.99. Kids and grandkids 5 and under eat free from the kids menu. Sunday through Thursday. Call and reserve mindchefrestaurant.com.
Wisconsin's morning news. It's been a big week in New York. It's New York Fashion Week. It's a big deal. All the big names. The names we've even heard of.
Right, even some people I might have
like
heard
the
of,
Ralph
right?
Lauren's and the Hilfigers and all that. They're out there doing the fashion shows. Joining us on the WTMJ hotline is Donna Rico. She's an executive fellow from Mount Mary University. Donna, so far, what's been the coolest show? What have you seen that stood out to you?
Well, I think, first of all, thanks for having me. I love to talk about fashion, as you know, and New York Fashion Week is so important for everyone in so many ways. And this year, I'm just really excited about the mood. I look forward to spring shows because they feature clothes that are light and bright and cheerful, and who doesn't want to identify with that? And you can feel a vibe of real optimism this season, and the spirits are really high. I think the upcoming U.S. election has more designers showing their patriotic side, and there's really a feeling of unity in the air. And New York designers pretty consistently, created really joyful and desirable collections, and most importantly, they're wearable clothes, and the venues were really exciting. Fashion is big business, and brands succeed when they excite and entice the consumer through their shows.
Donna, when you say wearable, that would
that caught my ear.
Yeah, us laymen in here assume that means, because oftentimes when whether it's fair or not, when we think of fashion shows or runways, it might be some pretty extravagant stuff. When you say wearable, are you just talking like shirts and
this year's khakis?
Well, there's this is America, and there's, you mentioned Ralph Lauren and Tommy Hilfiger. I thought their shows were terrific. I mean, Ralph Lauren, he had his guests travel hours outside of New York, and his show was held on a horse farm in Bridgehampton, and it was like a Hollywood set. And the clothes were amazing. I mean, they were, followed all of the Ralph Lauren house codes, the romanticism, the varsity prep, rugged Western, Great Gatsby looks. I mean, who doesn't want to look like that? And Tommy Hilfiger did the same. His show was held on the Staten Island ferry that Pete Davidson and Colin Jost purchased recently. And there was a real sort of seaworthy vibe about his show, and there were lots of regatta stripes and sailor looks and really cute things that I think look great on all kinds of people. I love that, preppy androgynous effect, and I think that can work for everyone.
What kind of fit is it this year, Donna? Are we back to a little bit baggier? Like for a while we were in the skinny jeans and everything was form-fitted. Are we going baggy again?
The cool people are wearing baggy.
Yes, good. Thank you.
It's
back
continuing.
To the 80s.
And I think it looks great, and it's new. And again, fashion is commercial. It's a business. They have to get people to buy every season. And, we have enough skinny jeans. Let's try the baggy ones now.
Donna Rico joins us. She is the executive fellow at Mount Mary University in New York for the New York Fashion Show. So is this one like the big one? Is this the creme de la creme, or are there other ones? Or is London a bigger deal? Which is the biggest of the biggest fashion shows?
Well,
Or weeks?
we'll have to. New York is first, actually, and they've been first since 1998. Traditionally, the European shows were first, and New York was at the end. But there was a designer, Helmut Lang, and he was from Milan, and he decided back in the 90s to relocate his show to New York, and everyone else followed suit. And so he showed first. They all showed first in September. So, the levels of fashion are different in every city for sure. There's fashion capitals. There's New York, London, Paris, Milan. And, New York, again, it's more Americana. There's certainly elevated looks. There's vintage looks. There's lots of color. There's lots of prints. Things that are, I think, really desirable and wearable, like I said. But there's also more elevated looks. And this year, there's a couple of French brands that actually came to New York and offered some really elegant looks as well.
Can you tell where someone's from by their clothes? Like where if you see a certain type of design, you're like, okay, that's clearly Paris, or that's clearly from this part of the country or world?
Well, I think sometimes, there's American designers that have a strong, point of view and might step out a little bit. But generally, the European shows tend to be a little cleaner, a little more elegant, a little more sophisticated in some ways. The cuts are more dramatic. They reach a little bit more sometimes than the Americans. But you know what? There's fashion really at every level, and there's a customer that wants that look here too. So the younger designers, often will push themselves a little bit to reach that customer.
Donna, what do you wear to a fashion show? Man, you gotta think about that a little bit, right?
It's like wearing white to a wedding.
We all see the pictures. The interesting point is, there's a lot of celebrities at the shows, and what I find really interesting is they're all dressed in the latest looks from that collection that's on the runway. And I just can't imagine how difficult that must be and how much, more effort it must take to dress all of those celebrities that show up. So they're dressed to the nines in the looks that are coming down the runway often. But the fashion editors and the people that have to trudge to far-flung places to see these shows all day long for 5 days straight, they're wearing sneakers, they're wearing mitts, they're wearing black, they're, something comfortable for sure, because it's torture. And then they have to travel as well, and traveling to Europe and attending all these shows, it's challenging, but comfort is key.
Mount Mary University Executive Fellow Donna Rico, and you're going to be in town. Fashion Fest at Bayshore is Sunday. You're going to be there for that, right?
Yes, I can't wait. We have a number of our grads are showing at that show, and it's going to be very exciting. I was there last year, and it's really well attended. It's great for the community to come and see fashion, what's happening in Milwaukee, and Mount Mary is all about educating the next generation of fashionistas, and we're very proud to have our students on the runway.
Oh, welcome back to Milwaukee in a couple of days. Thank you, Donna.
Okay, thanks for having me.
Donna Rico, the Executive Fellow at Mount Mary University of the Fashion Program.
It's 8:53 on Wisconsin's Morning News. One more time here before 9 o'clock, Deb.
All right, backed up westbound 94 coming out of the Marquette all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound backing up from Highway G to Highway 16, and then again 84th through to 35th. Westbound 894 heavy from 27th Street out towards 68th through that construction zone. We've also got a little bit of a backup on 43 southbound between Hampton and Capitol Drive. Everything else seems to be rolling along okay. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The very front of the front office is exclusively on Wisconsin's Morning News.
We're focused on winning today, and that's where our head is.
Brewers Senior Vice President and General Manager Matt Arnold is our Brewers 360 guest.
Have you ever played Immaculate Grid? Let's try it. I've never played this game with a general manager, so I figure we can do this in 9 guesses.
Every Thursday at 7:45.
Oh, I don't know, buddy. I'm not sure. I need a little more coffee for this.
Presented by Holiday Automotive and Outdoor Living Unlimited.
That'll be fun. All right, can't wait.
WTMJ's Erik Bilstad here when I'm walking the runway at a fashion show.
Which happens a lot. I've seen you. You look good.
Well, afterward, I bet that's a lot of work. I bet for anyone who's doing a lot of physical work, they're either hiking or laboring or whatever it might be, you start feeling it in the joints afterward, and that can really become a problem. Arthritic pain in your knees, your ankles, your back, or your shoulder. There is a way to get help and not get surgery. It's regenerative medicine. You can enhance your joints, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the stuff you love without pain by calling QC Kinetics. No drugs, no surgery, no downtime from QC Kinetics. And the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are experts in these amazing treatments. And you can stop by their locations and you can get a free consultation. Call 414-285-3474. Set yourself up a free consultation in Mequon or in Greenfield for QC Kinetics. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Did your home suffer damage from a storm or severe weather? Don't stress any longer. Loyal Family Renovations treats all of its customers like they've joined their personal family, and every project as if the work was being done at their own house. Loyal Family Renovations has a leg up on the competition due to the personal relationships they've built with insurance adjusters over the years. Loyal Family is family-owned, and the loyalty belongs to their customers. Contact them today to get your free home inspection. LoyalFamilyRenovations.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management. It's time to know the difference, and Annex Wealth Management is ready to help with investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary partner. AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a good karma brand station.
8:57 WTMJ forecast sponsored by Dave Drake Camp Heating, where your comfort is their family's tradition. High of 84 degrees today under mostly sunny skies. Mostly clear tonight, low down to 62. And for Thursday, 83 degrees your high temp under mostly sunny skies. This forecast, no thanks to Ms. Nansky, who's down, as I detailed earlier in the show. So our best wishes to Niz. He should be back hopefully soon. I'll update you on his progress. And if you wonder what that's about, check out the podcast. Text Vince to 855-616-1620. What's gotten his Nansky in the hospital? We also did a number of 9/11 remembrances through the morning. And some interesting debate analysis and a lot of sound bites from the debate as well. Brought you some of the highlights from that this morning. All available on our podcast page anytime. WTMJ Political Power Hour with Steve Scafidi is up next.
Oh, Jackson!
We blew a gasket on the grapevine.
This report is sponsored by Diamonds Direct. Your love, their passion.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry